One of the great races of the year. Look at this. Hometown boy, front row, leading us to the green. Time to let it rip at MIS.
Restarts here are going to be wild for at least a couple of laps, a lot of 2 and 3 wide throughout the field. And it's really tough to make things work good when you're on the bottom. You get bottom down in the throttle, in the power band. Can't really accelerate off the corners. You see Bubba Wallace losing a spot there off into turn 1 to the 17. Gains it back in the middle of the corner. But if you're stuck on the inside of somebody, Steve, off the corner, they're going to carry momentum down the straightaway, pass you right back. Here goes a 17, trying to get right back by Bubba. That's the tough part that Trevor talked about in the pre-race. Making that move the inside, you better be able to clear the 17 here so you can get back up in the outside line down the straightaway, or else he and maybe more cars go by. Oh, we got a spin, the 88.
Already, yeah,
Still around,
Silich.
contact. Man.
Third straight week he's had a problem early in the race.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. Came so close to maybe avoiding contact there, but that's gonna.
I got the left rear.
That's gonna make his day extremely long. With that damage right there.
I just talked to a spotter here before the race up here on the roof, and he said that was actually one of their focuses, is try to get to the end. Let's see a green and white checker flag. Let's get to the end of the stage. Let's figure it out.
Gonna get caught up.
Just the left screen.
Denny. Right here, he gets to the outside and gets loose. So when you peek to the outside, the right side of the car in front of you, so he's on the outside of the 47, that will make your car extremely loose, and you got to be ready for it. It's too early in the race for him to understand what was coming.
Bell and Jones starting in the rear, had to avoid him coming through the corner. Early caution at Michigan. Back at Michigan, aerial coverage brought to you by Goodyear, born on the track, built for the street. Early caution. A number of those drivers that had to start in the rear don't have any track position, come down, top off the fuel tank, get you in a better position later on. You know, we talk so much about restarts here. Let's hear from drivers as we set up for our second start of the day.
Restarts are crazy. A lot of strategy goes into it.
The outside lane is kind of preferred, but you know, do you want to give up 2 rows to get the outside?
Into turn 1, you're going to be at least 3 or 4 wide. You got to plan for that.
You got to get momentum going. If you don't, you get smoked.
If you can't get back in line at exit turn 2, you're going to go straight to the back and miss out on the draft. And when the drivers try to force it, that's when bad things happen.
Did you hear his inflection when he said straight to the back? Yep. Like he has felt it. He has looked to his right and known that he just has no help behind him. It's got to be helpless to think you actually had a pretty good corner, but just the fact that nobody's in line with you, there's just nothing you can do.
Well, you know, we saw with Bubba just a few laps ago, it's so good to go down to that bottom and gain all that ground and you go to the inside of somebody, but if you can't clear them and you get back up on the next straightaway, they team up and they go back by you and you might lose. It's a net loss by the time you get to the next corner. So if you do go to the inside, you're going to want to be able to clear that driver and not get greedy and go to the inside of a second car, right? If you can clear just one and take that one spot alone, you might want to try to just do that instead of trying to get too much.
You know, this early caution is bad for Hocevar because he gets the jump, he has the lead, he's in control. Now another restart and maybe some games being played. Reddick knows some of the tricks of the trade. We'll see how it goes here. First, let's go down to Marty.
Adam to tag on to that restart conversation. Lane selection can be everything. Ryan Blaney started on the bottom at the initial start of the race, lost 7 spots on that start of the race, and he joked with Tim Fita with a spotter. He said, I'll be taking the top on this first restart. Dale Jr., you know it. Where you pick lane-wise here at Michigan can mean everything.
Yeah, Marty, and the other thing too is this track's widening out a little bit. So there's a third groove now. There's an even higher groove than we've ever had here before. So if you're starting on the inside, you might be 3 wide by the time you get to the center of turn 1 and 2. You might have to worry about multiple lanes on your outside door, making that even more difficult at this racetrack as this groove continues to go up the racetrack. It's so hot here today. I think we're going to get up there. The trucks were up there yesterday. That's the hope for today.
Going to be busy on board that 11, who's outside row about 12 rows back.
Hocevar, Reddick, front row. And they're coming through the Poet restart zone. Green again at Michigan.
Very similar to the first start of the race where Hocevar gets clear.
Bradley Herbst jumps to the bottom 3 wide. The question is, it looks good now. Can he exit? Look at the top. Zane Smith in the 38 will take the 35 4 wide now.
Boy, a little bounce there coming through the corner for the 38 of Zane Smith.
3
Look
wide.
at this, 3 wide for the lead. Ty Gibbs says, I want it. He's going to get it down low. Underneath Reddick and Hocevar, but 77 wound up in the outside lane.
Hocevar up the racetrack. Can he finish the pass? Looks like he's going to clear Gibbs. And you know why Hocevar was able to do that? He had the confidence to do that from having the laps in the truck race and running that line. That's a little bit of an advantage to anybody who ran the truck race yesterday. Send it off in there in the turn in that third lane. We've not ran above that second seam on this repave since they put the new pavement down in 2012. And now we're seeing cars get up there.
Look at that patience right there with the prime on board with Chase Elliott. Had a little bit of run to the 54, but just pushes him out. He just knew if he got left, he wouldn't be able to clear him, so he's now going to run a half a lane higher, try to get that momentum. He knows, Dale, that if he pulls out a line, like you've said multiple times, he has to clear that car in front. He's almost patient to settle in 4th.
It's what Trevor talked about on NASCAR Live. You have to have the presence of mind as a driver to know when to take the run, not step in the trap and get caught. Bubba Wallace out of line, racing inside of the 19 at Chase Briscoe.
Oh, we got another car spinning around. Almost, yep, going around down the back straightaway.
Village again.
Oh, man. It's going to make contact with the inside wall here. He got up the racetrack into like the 4th groove, got in the dirt.
Gosh, man, oh my God.
Yeah, he's so frustrated right now. And this is just the way it is. I wish I could talk to him right now and calm him down, because you're just going to have bad days in this sport. It's been a tough tough rookie year for this kid. We know his talent is immense, and he's just got to weather the storm. I know he's kind of made 2 quick mistakes here, and he doesn't want to make those on such a large stage, but the car is damaged. He gets up out of the groove into the dirt. It's really, really slick and dirty up there in the top groove, and the car comes around.
Not even 10 laps in, and already a pair of cautions. And each for the rookie driver from North Carolina, Connor Zilisch, around again at Michigan. Hocevar, your race leader. Under caution at Michigan, let's do our Harbor Freight Tools for Victory.
Air defense is #1. If you can make it difficult on that car behind you by dirtying up the air, that's what you're going to have to do. But as this track gets wider, Steve, that becomes a bigger challenge.
Yeah, and you have to manage fuel, both on top of the pit box and behind the wheel. I have to make sure I'm doing the right thing of how much I'm putting in and when am I putting it in. And then, Dale, behind the wheel, you have to help me. And it's the same for finding spots where you can. That's a crew chief driver combo. I have to find them when I pit, but on restarts, Dale, you have to decide, should I be aggressive or really just holding my spot? Is that what I'm looking for this strategy?
We're right on board again with Connor during this most recent spin. Ooh. He tried to drive out of it.
You know, Kim reminded us during the commercial break, this is a track where Connor doesn't have much experience. O'Reilly didn't race here last year. The only time he had raced here prior to this weekend was an ARCA event a couple of years ago. Here's the good news for Connor. Next weekend we go to Pocono, where he won the O'Reilly race last year. Maybe a little bit of foundational confidence to get things going in the right direction.
The other thing,
well, I was going to say, the problem is in 3 weeks, this is 125 laps of racing. So in 1,400 miles of available racing, he's only run, Dale, about 150 of them.
The other thing, too, is, and they tell young drivers this all the time, even back when I was coming up in the Busch Series in '98, whatever you're feeling from the car is real. And you can't make that car do something it doesn't want to do. Where this, his struggles over the past several weeks are he's going to start beating himself up. But what I would tell him is like, look, that car's loose. That car's spun out. It's loose. It's a loose handling car. What you're feeling is real, and you can't do something with that car that it's not wanting to do. And so he just needs to work on, with the team to try to improve the race cars, try to show up with faster speed. They didn't qualify well. None of the Trackhouse cars were good this weekend in qualifying. And so he's got a steep hill to climb when the car's not performing as well. So I wouldn't be too hard on myself, because once you get in a car that works and does everything you want it to do, you start to realize, oh, I haven't forgotten how to do this, and the talent is there.
It's so hard to get your head above water when you're swimming with the sharks, and that's what it's like at this level of racing. What about driver 11, Trevor?
Yeah, speaking of loose race cars, we've all been keeping our eye on Denny Hamlin trying to come from the back. He's been able to get to 26, and that's it so far. Every time he tries to make a pass, that car's just way too edgy for him, telling Chris Gale he's going to need some changes here at some point to tighten it up. I'm sure this is some of the dirtiest air he's been in all year, other than coming from the back early on last week, guys.
Absolutely, but to what you were just saying about the 88, Dale, that's where all the starts for Denny Hamlin come into play. Is he knows that he should be driving through the field. He knows that his car's fast enough to be up front, but with 735 starts, years and years of experience, this is his 21st full-time season. He knows this isn't the time. Tell your crew chief, I need changes. 33 laps to the stage, I'll be okay. He's playing the long game.
National Debt Relief onboard camera here, taking us through turns 3 and 4. Now we just got word from NASCAR. Did the choose. We're going to add a lap, so we'll ride around one more time. Reference that we're riding with Denny Hamlin. We'll ride with Brad Keselowski as well. 3-time runner-up here at his home track, the Ford Racing onboard camera.
Got Bubba Wallace here with the Toyota Racing front bumper camera.
The Anduril onboard camera, William Byron.
Eric Jones, another car that had to go to the back of the field with that Toyota onboard camera.
Ty Gibbs in the Monster Energy car with the Monster Energy camera, front bumper cam, and the roof cam.
And our BuildSubmarines.com onboard camera, Ryan Preece. We talk about these RFK guys. All 3 of their Fords inside the top 10 a year ago. Some ground to make up here today. And a big day for Preece because, I joked yesterday during practice, RFK was running so well, then we showed up with our NASCAR on Prime coverage, and they've had a couple of weeks where things didn't go their way. But this is a good track for them. 14 wins all time for RFK here at Michigan. 3 of those drivers really, really capable, and with Preece now below that chase cut line, needs to put something together here this afternoon.
We have the 77 still controlling the field. He's done a really nice job out of the restart zone each and every time.
One thing he's not doing, though, is keeping those tires cleaned up. You see everybody moving back and forth, just trying to keep the tires nice and clean. Got to full commit down into the corner, wide open on restarts through 1 and 2. So all these drivers making sure that they can count on those tires to get the grip they need.
Not much time under green because of the early cautions. Going to have only 31 laps to go in the stage when we return to the green flag. Hocevar, Reddick up front, bottom right, ride with Brad Keselowski in the middle of the mess.
A little bit better restart for the inside line here now. Larson with a good push on the 45 of Reddick down into turn 1. Can Reddick clear? Reddick's going to clear. He's going to come up the racetrack, take the line away. He does.
Great restart by Reddick on the bottom right. You see Brad stuck in the middle, the Ted and Ty Dillon around the outside. That's what's so crazy. On board with Brad, it looked like he was doing everything right. And next thing you know, he's losing spots.
Where do I watch, right? I mean, there's so much to pay attention to. A couple of dirt trackers from California hooked up on the restart. Larson a shove. Reddick now has the field in tow. Hocevar settles into second. 2 wide behind him. Daniel Suarez, good start to the race. Talked about Bubba Wallace. Ty Gibbs there with Chase Elliott and the aforementioned Larson in the 5.
It'll be interesting to see Reddick here, who was 2 tenths clear of the field in practice yesterday for at least 10 laps. Now some cars started matching him. Denny Hamlin could match him after about 10 or 15 laps, but can he drive away from Hocevar? Hocevar pretty solid through turns 3 and 4 as we look through the back of the pack here. The 22 of Logano.
Right behind him, 3 wide. Center cut moment for the 42 of John Hunter Nemechek. Right behind the 4 of Noah Gragson. Ty Dillon in that group as well.
Marty reported about Blaney not liking the bottom when he moved to the top in the last couple restarts. He's up 5 just on this last restart. So finding a way to make that top lane work, learning. Remember the first restart when he was on the bottom, that wasn't by choice. That was qualifying position. I think he'd be choosing the top for the rest of the day.
He's 20th. Teammate Austin Cindric right behind him in 21st. Let's hear from Connor Zilic. Kim?
Yeah, Adam, multiple spins taking. For you, how hard were you fighting the race car?
Yeah, I was really loose, but yeah, it's just unfortunate. Another short race for us. But yeah, thank you to WeatherTech for being a part of it. We'll go try and get him at Pocono next week.
Dale, you said you might want to call him this week. This is a guy that brought so much success to junior motorsports. You know, that's where having teammates, having mentors like you that he sees, you know, that to your point, that's what he has to lean on. You can just see this is a young man that's full of energy. Every time you see him, doesn't even really look like himself in that interview. There's not a lot of empathy. Actually, there's zero empathy from the other drivers in the field. That's what makes this sport so tough. But from a fan base, you know, you got to just kind of feel for him and what he's going through.
Absolutely. He'll have a lot of people trying to reach out and support him. He's got a lot of people that believe in him. So we watch this battle down the back straightaway. Austin Dillon still trying to get by Cole Custer in the 41.
Good qualifying effort yesterday for Custer in that 41. Dillon slides by into 3, up to 18th for that RCR Chevy. Look at Denny Hamlin trying to make his way through the field.
Dude,
and coming right behind him. Look at Ryan Preece in the 60.
Denny's struggling here, trying to get, you know, move this car forward, and it's, you know, he's just, his only options really are to try to the bottom of the racetrack, and he's had a hard time trying to get around Josh here for the last couple of laps.
I will say though, last week at Nashville, after he jumped the restart, got penalized for a long time, they rode right there between 25th, 30th, and I'm like, man, what is going on here? But eventually they found their way, got some track position, and once he was in the top 15, he really took off.
Daniel Suarez here in the 7 car in the middle of turn 3 and 4, right around the bottom of the racetrack. Goes up the racetrack behind the 23, loses all that air when he gets behind the 23, loses the downforce in the back of the car. A little bit of a bobble there. Big moment inside the car. But you cannot cross the wake that closely of another vehicle. Sometimes you don't have a choice, but you prefer not to do it.
Zane Smith takes advantage there, riding 7th, exactly where he's finished last couple of years at Michigan. Saw Buescher making a move on Riley Herbst. They've been racing for position. Here's Joey Logano, Chase Briscoe.
Chase going backwards, Joey going forwards. That's Joey's, you know, struggled this year, but I think he was one of the best, if not the best forward, up to 11th. We're asking ourselves in all of our meetings this morning, which Ford would be the one that would stand out? We really didn't have an answer for that. Usually it's Blaney. I think Logano's actually got one of the better cars that he's had all season today.
You know, it's been a while, over a year, since he's been to victory lane. Ended a long winless streak here in 2013. His first win driving for the captain, Roger Penske. Love to get back in the game here today. Right behind him, Chase Briscoe. What's the story there, Kim?
Yeah, a little backslide for Chase Briscoe. Hasn't taken advantage of the restarts, but also handling has been an issue. Remember during pre-race, talked about how edgy that car was in practice. Maybe a little bit of an over-adjustment in addition to track changes, because Chase reporting tightness into turn 3 is big, real big. He said front end is tight and absolutely pushing through the tires right now.
I like what I see behind him. Noah Gragson, 16th at Nashville, top 15 today. Tyler Reddick leading Hocevar, Gibbs, Elliott, and Larson at Michigan. Masters of the Universe is now in theaters everywhere. Power up your summer and witness how he became He-Man. Now playing in premium formats and IMAX rated PG-13. And now we take a look at our Burn Bar presented by Red Bull.
Yeah, fuel's going to be a conversation really at any racetrack, but no bigger track than here at Michigan. It all comes down to how fast can you go while saving some fuel. So you look at the 77 of Hocevar running in the third position. Well, if you look at his numbers up here, right? 4.9, 4.6, 5.4 for the top three cars. That's a big discrepancy. So he's basically going an extra mile off every gallon of gas burned, not because they can't make it to the stage, but because they won't be full when only changing 4 tires. They don't want to wait on gas. Let's listen into the 77 radio.
Keeping track position over saving, correct?
Yes, absolutely. We're not in a must-save situation. We're just giving ourselves options for later, but we do not have to be doing it. But he knows. We talked about it. I think he's got a good awareness.
So track position versus savings. Let's talk about this. There are times where it's, I don't care if you have to let people go. We have to save enough to get to X point. This is just being pretty efficient right here. This is just setting the cruise control, staying off the brake, off and on the gas, right? Let's just have this thing roll, right? You look at his speed over, we're talking 200 miles per hour, but watch his throttle. This is going to be fascinating because if you look down here, he's going to get wide open off the corner. Then when he gets up in the straightaway, once he knows he's in this toe, he's going to actually lift a little bit or did down. Yeah, there you go. He's at the start-finish line at 70% throttle, letting the toe, the train of aerodynamics, pull him down the front stretch.
You've warned me many times, Steve, when we watch the race off pit road. Don't get excited when someone has a long pit stop or goes in the wrong direction because they might be in need of more fuel. The game is completely changed now. You have to see the end to understand how to race in the beginning.
These guys they moved from checkers to chess. They know they need 65 or 70 gallons to run the entire race. and they're just trying to decide where they're getting it, right? How much can I get in here? How much can I get in here? Under green, if I have a straightaway behind me, maybe I get a little extra gas in. I mean, it is truly, Marty, it has really amplified the importance of fuel mileage on pit road.
Let's take the game even deeper. Tyler Reddick and Billy Scott noticed what Carson Hocevar was doing. Here's that radio conversation.
For balance, very similar to run one practice. He is starting to save a little more, so it's okay to try it at the end of the straight, and we'll let you know how it stacks up. That was a good last lap. Should be a wash at the line. It's okay to not do that if it messes up your balance too much.
So the 45 trying to match what the 77 was doing when they were in second. Now that the 54 of Ty Gibbs is in second, Billy Scott told his driver, just match what Ty Gibbs is doing. Is that how nuanced the game is, Steve? That you're watching all the drivers around you and trying to match the pace they're setting just to match them on fuel as well.
Well, you know you only have to go 13 more laps. There's going to be a guaranteed yellow for the end of the stage. The difference is Hocevar is in the draft. Reddick is pushing the air himself. So lifting a little early, maybe a little more time at part throttle, but I don't see Reddick lifting like halfway down the straightaway. I don't think he's getting out of the throttle, much like Ty Gibbs or Carson can do, because they have the advantage of being kind of towed along.
Yeah, even this far back, you're getting a little bit of a draft. Gibbs right there in the 54 behind the 45 of Reddick. Obviously, the closer you get, the better that pull is.
Chase Elliott, nice start to the race, fourth right now. What's their story, Kim?
Yeah, we talk about drivers paying attention to what other teams are doing, specifically fuel savings here, which is what Chase Elliott had to tell his team. Well, we had the radio, but maybe we did not. Anyway, asking what the 45 was doing to save, how much he could save, and then crew chief Alan Gustafson saying you're better than the 45 in what you're doing on the racetrack.
You know, I look at Chase Elliott, Kim, and obviously they're in a good spot here in fourth when you talk about the running order. Right behind him, Bubba Wallace benefits from those drivers that had to drop to the rear. That inside lane moves up a couple of rows to start the race. He's got a good race car. Fifth is where he is. Reddick, his teammate, continues to lead as we head toward 10 to go, stage one. Going to be 6 laps to go here at Michigan for NASCAR's Cup Series. Coverage on Prime, presented by Ram Trucks. Denny Hamlin wins the pole here yesterday. Had some damage to the race car, made some adjustments. They were unapproved. Starts at the rear and not having a good afternoon. He's 27th right now.
I am so loose.
Yeah, he's just chasing the balance of this race car. But again, we mentioned it earlier in the show. He's not really had to be this far back in the field except for last week at Nashville. But they'll work on the car. He definitely probably needs some adjustments to be comfortable. He's not been able to make as much ground as, say, his teammate, the 20 Christopher Bell. You saw during the commercial, Todd Gillen had a little issue. Left rear tire was flat. We had some tire issues in practice yesterday. They've had some gremlins in that car and not a lot of speed all weekend for Todd. And here's a little battle.
Well, you know, I hate it for Todd, but front row, balance-wise, pretty good. I mean, Zane Smith is 7th. You see him here racing Larson. Gregson knocking on the door of the top 10. He's 11th right now.
It's been impressive what Zane's been able to do over the last couple of weeks. What a couple of good runs can do for a team. Just builds so much confidence as he goes to the inside of Kyle Larson.
This is an impressive move late on tires to just be able to turn and run the bottom like that.
Yeah, especially driving a Ford. They've been struggling all weekend. This one's doing really well.
Well, you file this away for later, right? Because you start thinking about the long runs and production late, and who takes care of it, and where do you land? And boy, circle the 38, who's now 6th.
We didn't have a lot of chance to see long run speed of any of these teams in practice, and you have Zane Smith in the Ford, Busher in 8th right there as well. So over the course of the 3rd stage, which will be full of long runs, more than likely there'll be longer runs than this one, bodes well for the Fords.
3 to go in the stage. A couple of Toyotas up front. Hocevar's back in the 3rd spot. Elliott and Wallace behind him. Everybody chasing those stage points. And for Reddick right now, it's a case of the rich get richer. A nearly 100-point lead coming in over 2nd place Denny Hamlin, and chasing another stage victory is the 45.
This will be interesting too, just the last couple of corners, to find some lap traffic, to see what his car feels like when he's behind other people. I'm sure he's probably taking a little bit of information here of what this might feel like. He's led, you know, Reddick has led the whole race in clean air, so good chance for him with 2 laps to go to get an understanding of how the balance changes here behind these lap cars.
Yeah, J.J. Yaley in a 44 goes a lap down. And the next guy he'll see, Ross Chastain. Hard to imagine the one going a lap down in a 45-lap stage when we've had a couple of cautions, Steve.
We have had a ton of yellows, and I think we're going to see, you know, I think Reddick was kind of just cruising, but now the 54 is turning the pressure up, thinking they could maybe get an extra point at the end of the stage. And Chastain, he'll get the free pass even if he gets past here, but that will start him all the way at the tail of the field, which can be a bit of a battle. There's no speed in that one.
None at all. Trackhouse is not great, right? We had the 88 wrecked out, and then Shane Van Gisbergen is in 31st as they're coming up. And this lap car too, Steve, is giving this 54 a little bit better chance. Dirty in the air a little bit for the 45 of Reddick.
Yeah, there's going to be a race to the line right here. Where's the 45 going to go? Will he chop? He does. He does a nice job. And look at the 54 lose the nose. Reddick's like, I know what you're thinking.
It got tight behind Chastain. Ross going to stay on the lead lap. Reddick going to win stage 1. Gibbs is 2nd.
Unbelievably,
Hocevar comes home 3rd.
Reddick's first stage win of the year.
He just leads the final stage.
I don't believe that stat.
Yeah.
It's a real stat. Oh, wow.
And the 10 points that come with it. Other guys scoring points. Chase Elliott up there. Bubba Wallace, good stage. Zane Smith ended up 6th. Very productive for driver 38. 1 stage down at Michigan. You're watching NASCAR on Prime. NASCAR on Prime is presented by Ram Trucks. Nothing stops Ram. Aspen Dental. Visit aspendental.com. Get smiling today. And by National Debt Relief, helping Americans get out of debt. Gorgeous Sunday afternoon here in Brooklyn, Michigan. I bet there's a lot of folks hanging out on the back deck at Jerry's today.
Yeah, great place to go visit if you're near the track. Perfect weather for the race today.
A few drivers have made pit stops. Those that started at the back, came in on those early cautions, really nothing to lose. Eric Jones, A.J. Allmendinger, William Byron, some of those that could gain some spots here need less fuel.
Yeah, I expect everyone to take 4 tires. The real question is, do you wait for that second can of snow cold fuel? 1 is not enough to fill it up. 2 will cost you time. Let's see what crew chief decides. Fuel is important enough to spend a little extra time in the pit box.
Marty Snyder leads us off.
Adam stage win for Tyler Reddick, who said he got pretty free as he ran. Billy Scott said we have a plan for that. He said we're going to wait some here on fuel and pay a little bit of a penalty now. Ty Gibbs clearly had some long run speed. He too said it migrated free the longer they ran, Trevor.
Yeah, Carson Hocevar, remember, he was one of the most aggressive with fuel saving, so his crew chief, Luke Lambert, is saying, you can go on the jack. We don't have to wait on the fuel here. Carson needs a little bit more turn off the turn 4 to go contend with that 45 car.
Race off pit road, presented by Goodyear. +1 for Gibbs, +3 for Bubba Wallace. Hocevar, Buescher, Reddick come off behind him. We reset and get a restart when we return to Michigan.
Let's get into our stage break, brought to you by Snapdragon. We have Tyler Reddick, who wins the first stage. Ty Gibbs, his Toyota teammate, getting the win off of pit road to start stage 2. Corey, who's standing out to you in the Gibbs camp right now, good and bad?
Well, we see all the sides of the spectrum. You got Ty Gibbs up there contending for the lead, and we've seen the last 2 weeks all the Gibbs teammates racing for the win. We've got we've got Denny mired back in traffic complaining about a loose car. We've got the 19 on the other side of the spectrum complaining about a tight car. I'm a little confused on where they hit their balance. It seems like collectively they're struggling a little bit, Martin.
In the Ford camp, Martin, Zane Smith has really impressed you, coming home 6th in stage 1.
Yeah, we got to show him some love. I mean, like three great weekends in a row. He's doing an awesome job. You know, a smaller team, really overachieving. And I know we gave a lot of grief to the Fords earlier. You know, Chris Buescher's making his way up there. He knows how to get around this place too.
Top 10s for Zane Smith the last 2 races at Charlotte and Nashville AA. Don't look now, he's only 34 points outside of the bubble.
No doubt. I mean, it's been a solid start to the day for driver 38.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we just heard Martin talk about Chris Buescher. Well, they had a hood pin come out, so they came back down pit road. He was 8th in stage 1. He was inside the top 5 after the pit stop. So talk about fluke things that can derail a day. Come back down pit road to put a hood pin in. 200 miles an hour, that thing can vibrate enough that it could break through. Marty.
Steve, I want to show you the right front off of Tyler Reddick's car, who won stage 1, by the way. That right front cording, they just told Tyler on the radio, that's what you had just a moment ago. Very free condition for Tyler Reddick, but the right front, that's the cording, Steve.
Yeah, and remember, we had a bunch of yellows, so that would be a point of concern to run longer, right? So we'll have to just see how they do it. The difference between pit stops, really, when I go back and look at him, the 77 and the 45, the 77 jumped him. Well, he didn't wait on gas. The 45 did. We'll see if that is a positive or negative. It all really comes down to who makes what on this restart.
Junior had the stat of the day. First stage win this year for Tyler Reddick. Remarkable, he had a goose egg coming in. Gibbs, Wallace up front. They're making their way through the Poet restart zone. We're green in stage 2.
Hocevar with a great push there. Puts Gibbs out in front, but Bubba's not done. He's like, man, I'm getting to the quarter panel down here in the corner. Can Bubba clear? I think he will.
Toyota dogfight at the front. 23 all clear off of turn 2.
Almost 4 wide back there with Joe Logano and a few others. Down the back straightaway. Man, that inside line's tough. Byron losing multiple spots.
Reddick getting dicey. Hocevar getting aggressive. Around Gibbs, slides up. Little crossover from the 54.
Yeah, Gibbs is not going to get to the inside. He's going to fall in line. Bubba trying to break the draft down the front straightaway.
Zane Smith looks good. Chase Elliott making it happen on the restart.
Zane is not helping the Ford's argument that they need a little speed.
He didn't get the memo.
No, sir. The Ford's been kind of frustrated with how they've been running, but this 38 car getting everything right now. 45 up the racetrack. He got in the wake of the 38, almost gets in the door of Chase Elliott, loses that spot. Nemechek down there on the bottom of the racetrack trying to get around Larson.
Good start to the day for Legacy Motor Club.
Logano 3 wide here around Ty Dillon.
Joey feeling strong early.
Yeah, he doesn't clear, and Ty's going to get back to the outside. He's in a Dillon sandwich here.
Right behind them, Chase Briscoe trying to make something happen. He's 15th. AJ Allmendinger right there, trying to pounce inside lane. And Christopher Bell, who started in the rear, has worked his way to the top 20.
Just quiet for the 20. We've talked a lot about the 11, his handling issues and other situations. The 20 just is kind of methodically tiptoed his way inside that top 20.
So hard to make much happen in the opening stage because it's only 45 laps. And when you have the cautions, not a lot of green flag opportunities to go out and get it done. But here's Bell looking for more. Racing Brad Keselowski for 16th on track.
Yeah, he's going to get the inside of his teammate, a 19 to Chase Briscoe, but not going to clear. And both these cars are going to go back by the 20, maybe the 7 of Suarez as well. Gets in here, takes the spot away. See Bell jumps in this gap, trying to keep from losing more spots.
Larson Reddick, that's for 6th. 45 with a little bit of a slide here as we begin this second stage.
Yeah, that's a little concerning, knowing the speed this car had in practice. He's lost a spot or two here since we've been back to green.
42 of John Hunter Nemechek, the 35. Riley Herbst doing a nice job on the 35 slides across the nose of the 42.
How many times have we said it? Last summer, start coming to the racetrack, and the one thing that we saw a lot of is Legacy Motor Club delivering at a high level. Both John Hunter Nemechek, Eric Jones, they've had their bumps in the road this year, but the last month or so, including All-Star's been good for Jones. Today we're seeing it out of the 42 at Nemechek.
Yeah, we gave our tip of the hat to Bell, who quietly was in the top 20. Well, how about Jones? He says, what about me? I'm quietly in the top 10, all the way up to 10th for this 43 car, who also had to start in the back. Really good run at the All-Star race. Backed it up at Nashville. High power, low downforce racetracks. I had that circled. Was that some of the advantage? I'll have to say it's more than that. To me, it seems like Legacy is just continuing to improve, Kim.
That's right. And a couple of weeks ago when I talked with the team, they were about 60 points back from a chase position. And Eric told me if we get through the next couple of weeks and tighten up that deficit to 20 or 30, we'll feel like we're really fighting for a spot. Well, they entered this weekend minus 36. They're right there knocking on the door.
Great battle for the lead. Carson Hocevar driving to the inside of Bubba Wallace. And right there with him is Ty Gibbs. 13 laps into stage 2.
The thing I liked about Hocevar's car yesterday in qualifying was that he ran that great lap to put it on the front row, but he was losing a little bit of speed at the end of each straightaway, telling me that he's got a little more drag, a little more downforce. So this car should, in theory, have a little bit better of a handle on it late into the run. So he's got short run speed, possibly a little more downforce than most built into this car for the balance on the long run.
Well, and he knows how to play to the hometown crowd. He came out at driver introductions with the Michigan flag. The fans went crazy. And when he made that pass down the front straightaway, the hands were waving. Like it's been a while since I've seen a reaction like that for other drivers. I've seen it for Chase Elliott. Dale, for you, it was famous at Talladega. But right there, that was a fan favorite pass for the lead at lap, what are we at? Lap 59. And the fans are loving it.
And listening to the conversation between the crew chief and the spotter in stage 1 about him saving fuel, it sounded like that he took that upon himself.
Yeah.
Like, hey, and they're like, hey, is he supposed to be saving? Well, yeah, he's got a little awareness. We talked about this. So he's out there making these decisions himself, knowing, hey, I got a fast enough car. I can put a little bit in the bank, pay that, do that fuel tax thing you guys talk about. But he's smart enough to know when he's got a good enough car how to hold a little bit in his pocket or take advantage of that, not just be pedal to the metal, foot to the floor. Really, really smart driver behind the wheel of that 77.
Yeah, it's dangerous when a 23-year-old has the wherewithal at 95 starts to manage it, to slow the race down, right? To slow the pace down.
When we talk about that 100 start threshold and getting your first career win, he's ahead of schedule in that regard. Got the win at Talladega, now getting it done here at his home track. Portage, Michigan, his hometown. Just 90 minutes away.
And I think some of that comes from Spire signing him up to a long-term extension. This is a guy that at times can ruffle feathers in social media or on the racetrack, but not one time has his owners backed down from the battle. They support his guy through and through.
They're buying his T-shirts, they're buying his hats, and this afternoon they're waving him proudly. When he took the lead, they stood and they saluted here at Michigan. Hocevar out front of Wallace, Gibbs, Elliott, and Zane Smith. As the battle for second rages on, we enjoy the crowd saluting their hometown hero. Fourth caution of the day is out at Michigan. We have a new leader. We'll get to that in a second. First, the reason for the caution, another Michigan-born driver. Problems for Brad Keselowski.
Yeah, rough day for RFK. The 17 had to come in, put a hood pin back in, and now we're on board with Brad. You hear the left rear tire goes down. Very fortunate to not hit the wall. And you see the speed difference. NASCAR's no choice but to throw the caution.
What makes it hurt even more is the fact he was running 12th. I mean, having a decent day.
And what we've seen from the cars that had issues in qualifying is even though we got back to pit road, you would imagine there's some sort of underbody damage. Now we'll see if that's hurt the speed of the 6 or not. Still a ton of time. Pit road's not quite open yet. It's an interesting time, 55 to go, coming to 54. Pit road will open with about 53 to go. I mentioned earlier, the fuel window is 45 to 50 laps. I think you have no choice but to come to pit road here, even if you're uncomfortable with the distance. I just think the whole field is thinking, this is it. This is a moment in the race where we're going to try to jump on pit road, get kind of all filled up, and make it to the end of the stage.
One of those uncomfortable moments for crew chiefs.
Yes.
Says, I'm not really ready, but I don't have a choice. This relief lap is sponsored by National Debt Relief. Getting out of debt is easier when you have all of us behind you. Todd Gilliland had the unscheduled pit stop early. Gets back to the lead lap here.
He's one of those cars that had a left rear tire go down. We had a handful of those in practice. We had the same issues in practice last year, but we didn't have many in the race. Maybe one flat tire in the race. Looks like that issue maybe a little more severe this weekend. Steve, do you see one manufacturer struggling with this more than another?
I thought there was a trend in practice, but then it seemed to hit kind of all of the manufacturers. So now I just wonder if it's the teams that are searching for speed.
Yeah.
The reason you let air out of those left side tires is a performance advantage. It's clear. And I just wonder if your car has more overall potential, like you're talking about Hocevar kind of running at 90%. Well, as a crew chief, if my car can comfortably run in the top 5, I can stay a half a pound or 3/4 of a pound above what I think is uncomfortable. But if I don't have the overall speed, I have to get down into that kind of uncomfortable area on air pressure. I will say that if I'm Hamlin back in 25th, as crazy as this sounds, or Cindric back at 21st, cars that started at the back, if all the leaders do pit, this might be one of those times where I stay on the racetrack to just see how my car drives out front, just to get a little confidence in my adjustments, a little bit of practice, a little bit of clean air testing. We'll see if anybody takes the bait. Kim.
Ty Gibbs leading him down, Kim.
And for Chase Elliott, crew chief Alan Gustafson making the call rights and fuel. Chase saying the car's respectable, better than the first run where the front was just a little bit lazy. Marty.
Kim with 54 to go in the stage. To Steve's point, too close to not pit. Ty Gibbs had just taken the lead. Going to be right side tires and fuel to get to the end of the stage for the 54, Trevor.
Carson Hocevar's team with Luke Lambert were aware that a lot of people might take 2 here, but Carson and Luke conferred, decided that 4 tires for this long run coming up would be best.
Goodyear race off pit road. Chase Elliott wins the race off. Some strategy going on behind him, and we had contact on exit. Ty Gibbs getting out into Ryan Preece. We'll reset all of that when we come back to Michigan. Just over 20 laps complete. Stage 2 for the Cup Series at Michigan. Our coverage on Prime, presented by Ram Trucks. Caution is out, cyclist stops, and a whole lot going on. Let's ride and listen. Ty Gibbs, pit exit.
Put on the jack, right side.
The one, easy, one lane. Keep going. Watch the 23, out to the wall. 11 green, carry.
So you're going to see right here, Priest coming in, 54 leaving. And when you ask, all right, so who's at fault right there? The car coming in has the right of way. That is how it works. When you stop in your box, as a crew chief, I'm getting you out of the box. And right there, Dale, you hope the 60 lets you out, but the Priest has no reason to let you out, and to be honest, he has no idea that you're changing 2 or 4. When you say, why didn't Priest get out of the way? Well, if you were on the left side, I would say, well, maybe Priest should have thought you were done with your pit stop. But when you drop it on the right side, how does Priest have any idea that that's only tires you're taking? You know, so then the driver of 54 had this come back to the team.
It's f***ing kills, dude. What the hell? What the f***? Come on! One lane, there's no f***ing lane.
So that's,
dang it.
You heard that right there. You said one lane, there's no lane, so Ty's frustrated. It doesn't sound like it, Ryan Priest. He said, like, I went out one lane and I hit the car that was there. These things happen at tracks like this because we had 2 tires, 4 tires, a whole different strategy, and it just gets the timing really messed up.
Yeah, Ty had somewhat of a similar issue at Texas earlier. And be interesting to see. They did not come to pit road. He's second here.
Chastain, did come back down.
That was extremely hard contact, and they didn't bring it to pit road to see what things are, maybe bent. He must feel good about where the steering wheel is. Usually when you got a bent toe link or any kind of a, issue, the steering wheel changes position, and it's easy to know, okay, we got a problem.
Chase Elliott wins the race off pit road, takes the outside lane, restarting next to his teammate Kyle Larson. Row 2, Bubba Wallace, Ty Gibbs. Fanning out 3 wide off of turn 2. Kyle Larson gets the jump on the restart. Out in front of his teammate. Bubba Wallace right there with him. Solid restart, Tyler Reddick.
We'll see just how much damage that 54 now has as the 9 pokes out of line.
Yeah, pretty interesting to see him drive down in there and try to take that spot away. He's going to be able to do it. Both these cars were fast in practice yesterday. Good qualifying runs. I wasn't sure about their long run speed. We only got about 15 to 20 laps on tires. I thought Reddick was a little bit better than the HMS cars, but here they are with the track position. Look at Joey Logano having the run of the season for this 22 car. They have struggled. Oh, he got a little tight right there. Had to jump out of the gas. He's going to lose a few spots down the front straightaway.
Christopher Bell takes advantage. Coming from the back, 20 continues to show his stuff.
Man, Joey just got really tight in the traffic there. So he loses a few spots trying to get the momentum back. We see Denny Hamlin now coming into the picture as he's drove from the back of the field. It's taking him a while to get there, get toward the front.
Hocevar took 4 tires when they made pit stops, and here he is trying to come back through after losing some track position.
Denny Hamlin around the top with that momentum. Austin Dillon's in a bad spot there on the bottom side of the racetrack. He's going to lose spots down the front straightaway. Denny gets a big run here on AJ. Going to do a little bit of a side draft here. A good gap in front of AJ, so he's going to bury it down in the corner, take that spot easily. AJ with a little bit of a wiggle there. Suarez to the inside. He's not going to clear. AJ's going to get the momentum off the top. They're going to side draft down the back straightaway and argue a little bit. Nobody coming from behind. Oh, they're going to argue some more. I love it. It's 2 hard-headed guys. They're both the same. Really giving each other a hard time. And Austin Dillon's coming into this run here, but he doesn't want to go to the inside. He's like, I'm not going to do that again. I made that mistake. I'll get back here and push somebody.
Not Blaney.
Blaney
says, hold on, I'll turn left.
Why not?
Here I come.
Driver 12 on the move.
He's not going to clear. Austin's going to get around the outside again. Zane Smith back here wondering where to go. He wants to help a Ford, so he's going to stick here with Blaney.
Zane Smith lost that track position when he got 4 tires at lap 67. Eric Jones right there with him. Another one of those 4 tire takers. Lost the track position. Maybe has a little more fuel because he stayed longer on the pit lane and now trying to come from behind.
This is going to be a long run for both the fuel and the tires. Remember, Marty showed us that right front tire on the 45 showing just a little bit of fabric. Tire wear has been a real consistent story this year. It's a different right side tire, but think about Charlotte. Think about some of the high-speed tracks. Right side tire wear has forced some strategy.
AJ got a little tight off of turn 2. Austin Dillon's trying to take the spot. AJ's trying to stay on his right side here. Not going to be able to do it. Dillon's going to get up the racetrack, take that spot away.
We've had a lot of variation with options, but I will tell you that Nemechek, Herbst, consistently running inside the top 10. We have the 3 of Dillon right here in 13th. Just some really nice work by these teams.
Toyota Racing onboard camera. Get a feel for the speed, how tight it can be. Working the draft, 38 out of line, Zane Smith.
Battle for third right here. Tyler Reddick's found the speed in this 45, trying to get back to the front. Takes a spot away from his teammate Bubba Wallace down the front straightaway. Went to the bottom of the racetrack. Now he zeroes in on the 5 of Larson.
How about the day for 2311? All 3 of their drivers got stage points, stage 1 last week at Nashville. Doing the same today. Reddick got his first stage win of the year. And the worst of their cars right now is Herbst in 7th as AJ Allmendinger goes for a ride. That's caution number 5.
He kept it out of the wall, but he's got flat tires, both the right front and the right rear.
Right front's down.
He was doing some good things too. He was up there in the top 15 when it got away from him.
Got tight off of turn 2 a lap or 2 ago. He was struggling with the balance of that car in traffic.
This time he was kind of just the middle of 1 and 2.
I don't know what to do, Trent. Tired of playing defense all the time, and then a guy crosses my wake, and I'm tired of crashing.
Trent's crew chief, Trent Owens.
I understand the frustration, but I didn't see anybody really just drive across. We've seen some much closer calls around the front of a car in front of him. Obviously, AJ, a very experienced race car driver, there's something he does not feel that he's frustrated with the balance of this race car.
Good look at that A-post flap being deployed, but this is another look at it here. AJ back in the middle of the corner. There are 6 to 8 car lengths between him, Austin Dillon, a few other cars there. Looks like Suarez and Austin Dillon side by side. He's just loose, losing the back of the car. And everybody's complained about being loose today. It has been a treacherous track. We saw it in practice. A lot of guys fighting the steering wheel. So it's a handful out there.
Pre-pass, Brad Keselowski gets back on the lead lap. Scored in 36th.
Brad had that flat tire, parked it up in turn 1 and 2.
Pit road's still closed. I think they're allowing AJ to kind of get back. Unfortunately, he's going to get the pit road entry about halfway through the field as they pass by. Kind of a dangerous situation to open pit road. Only 8 laps on those tires. The tires refire with great speed we saw in practice, but we wonder if tire wear is a concern. This will be a tough decision for some. I don't think it's a clear choice to stay out or to pit, so I think we'll have a just mixed decision throughout the field.
Scan the QR code to shop Logitech G's newest products and hottest deals. Logitech G, the official wheel and pedal of NASCAR. Bubba Wallace, good day. He's getting it. One time was second in points early in the campaign. Fell to 15th and just had not had things go his way in recent weeks. And we heard the frustration at Nashville when they exited the race prematurely there. But really nice effort to come out and get it done today at a track that's been strong for him over the years.
Yeah, I mentioned this is one of those cars that I really am focused on. Can they kind of right the ship? And I know it's early, but those 6 points in that first stage, that takes just a little bit. That's 6 positions in the end of the race, right? 6 points. So that helps a little bit.
Yeah, Bubba,
this is just
showing
been a messy,
11th right now.
It's a messy race, and the reason I bring that up is because if you're wondering at home, who's the best car? What am I seeing? Who's on the best strategy? That's totally fair, because there were times that I thought Reddick was the winner or had winning speed. Then Larson and Chase Elliott drive off the front. Hocevar drove up to the front. Like, I've seen cars and glimpses of speed, and there's just so many games being played. I'm not sure we know who has exactly what they need. It's going to be a big positioning game. Let's see. Pit road open. Leaders all staying out, so those 8 laps on the tires are not bothering them, and they think they can make it on fuel. Back half of the field, we may see somebody come get some gas, but the leaders, they're going to stay out and stretch it.
Kyle Larson set out to do what only one driver had ever finished, race 1,100 miles in a single day. What followed was a multi-year journey of resilience, redemption, and the pursuit of the improbable. Stream Kyle Larson versus the double now on Prime. Aerial coverage here in Michigan, brought to you by Goodyear, born on the track, built for the street.
Pretty interesting to see the lineup with Chase Elliott taking the top and Larson taking the bottom. They're teammates. There was an option for them, I think, to line up in the outside line and work together and maybe push clear. But now they're going to, Larson's going to take that bottom. Let's see where Larson ends up. Where is he running when they exit turn 2, when they exit turn 4 to come back and complete the first lap after this restart?
He got the lead on that last restart. He just didn't stay there very long, right?
Yeah, I mean, the inside line's worked a few times, to your point.
38 laps to go, stage 2. As we get the restart with those HMS Chevys out front.
Reddick with a really good push on the
turn right at the start. Multiple vehicles involved and some big names. Tyler Reddick among them. Denny Hamlin around.
Reddick is destroyed. Here you see it. What in the world? There's a lot of aggressive pushing there, which is common with restarts here. We see that all the time. Just not quite sure why we had an issue on this particular one. A lot of cars damaged there.
Think about Tyler Reddick and the one thing they had not done this year, which is why they had that sizable point lead, is finish deep in the pack. Top 15 every race. Damage for Ty Gibbs. You saw Austin Dillon sitting idle. Good day going for John Hunter Nemechek. He got a piece of that.
I can't wait to see the replay on this because it looked relatively normal. You had mentioned the 45 giving a nice push to the 9. So where does it start?
Let's look at the 54, 23, 42. Hocevar. Hocevar gets in the back of the car in front of him, and just a push that wasn't square, and it turns that car. And each car in front, you know, clips the next one, right? Watch. Reddick somehow just barely gets hooked by the 54.
When he hits the inside wall.
Yeah.
Oh,
he
man.
first. Oh, man. Not only does he hit the inside wall, he also made contact with the right side of the 5 car of Larson.
Yeah, so it starts with kind of that inside lane. The 54 backs up, hits the 42. The 42 then kind of gets a shot from the 77. Just a ricochet effect. And then the spin. Let's see the 11's in the middle of the track spinning.
Denny does not hit anything.
Somehow he pirouettes through the field with no damage. 45 completely. Oh, here we go. This is a great look at it.
Let's watch Hocevar.
Quarter off you.
Oh, I think Hocevar was trying to move to the left to go 3 wide. Right at the same time, all those guys were sort of banging bumpers and backing up to him quickly, and he didn't get left quickly enough.
9 cars involved riding here with Ty Gibbs.
I'm with you, Dale. I think there was a gap in front of Hocevar, and he thought he was going to take it 3 wide with that momentum.
This will be a hard hit with a 3. Boom! Wow. He throttled up thinking he was clear of the wreck.
He did.
And Dillon avoided Denny and then caught the 45 riding with Bubba here.
Bubba gets through, straightens it out. Got really lucky there. Good car control. I'm sure he's banged up a little bit on the corners, but here's a 77. Yeah, I don't think he's going to catch a lot of heck for that one. He's moving left to go 3 wide, but he does know he's about to make contact with that car in front of him, and he also knows, with the experience in these cars, that if he turns left while he makes that contact, it's absolutely going to turn the car in front of him. So I don't know that Hocevar can escape the disappointment that a lot of drivers are going to have here. Let's get to some 77 radio.
Yeah, bumper to bumper, and then when you got to him and angled down, that's probably what got him knocked sideways.
Yeah, I kind of just tried to I was like, oh shit, like I thought somebody missed a shift.
That's all the radio right there, and yeah, I mean, I think he's taking a little bit of responsibility for it, but like you can hit people, right? We see everybody pushing, but you can't turn. You can't move left or move right and make contact with that car in front of you, because it's just going to rear steer or turn that car sideways.
Well, so he doesn't expect, if we go back to that one all the way at the start-finish line, the 5 is accelerating.
Yep.
And then somehow the 5 loses acceleration a little bit, and he kind of like stacks an inside line up. So if you're in the mindset of Hocevar, you have successfully laid back a quarter car length. There's room in front of you to gain momentum and turn left. 5 backs up, 54 then loses, backs up into the 42. Like he's like what Hocevar said, he thought somebody might have missed a shift. There was that big of a stack up, and it was all generated from the 5 just not accelerating as much as you would hope it would.
Well, there was a question that I was asking on the back straightaway, is why did the Hendrick cars take the front row? Why didn't they go to the outside together? Was there some team orders possibly for the 5 to allow the 9 to clear?
Interesting.
Right?
Maybe
So
that's why the 5 wasn't going.
Yeah, so the inside line did not accelerate as everyone might have anticipated. And that's a possibility that maybe the 9, you know, there was a plan with the 5 and the 9 to clear the 9 into 1.
Riding here with William Byron. Well, when your track position is compromised, you put yourself in a difficult spot when things like this happen. Yeah. But a great effort for the 24 to snake his way through. Let's get a report 77, Trevor.
Yeah, guys, we had the discussion this week about young up-and-coming drivers and their style. Some are methodical, some go for it. Carson Hocevar, it's no secret he goes for it, right? So that restart, Dale, I'm watching it, looking at him. He knows he's got to take that run somewhere, doesn't check up. The restart before this, though, he gained 5 spots. So a lot of give and take there. Talked to Luke Lambert about that earlier, about their success, and said, hey, Luke, what do you have to do different with Carson? And he said, I know that he's going to take every run and deal with it on exit, and I have to build our cars around that.
Yeah, he's an aggressive driver and goes after it. He's got a fast car, an opportunity to win today. But that was just an aggressive move that didn't work out. And you know.
Another caution pads the fuel gauge for those drivers that pitted at lap 67. Tyler Reddick doing something he hasn't done all season long. Go behind the wall with damage. Check out Prime's exclusive in-race feature, Key Moments, during the broadcast by clicking up on your remote. It's the easiest way to catch up on race highlights and flag changes as they happen. And if you're ever late to NASCAR on Prime, we've got you covered with Rapid Recap, where you can see all key race moments in 2 minutes or less. Caution number 6 out at Michigan. Let's do our Napa know-how moment.
Yeah, this moment's going to be circled when we look back on this race. 9 cars involved in the wreck on the restart at lap 83. And at the front of the field, right, we see a big hit for the 45. And then look at this on the top left. Man, Reddick backs into that inside wall.
Yeah, we looked over the race communication of The 9 and the 5, there was no talk or conversation around trying to do any team orders for the restart. So just a traditional start that didn't go well. Rarely see this at this racetrack.
It's usually turn 2 when we have an accident on a restart, not just past the start-finish line.
So this is the moment that I hesitate to bring up, but I'm going to give Dale his kudos here, who mentioned that he thought Hamlin had a chance of running Reddick down in the points this summer. And I was like, man, there's 2 road courses. Hamlin's not that great at the road courses. I don't see it. And now here Reddick is in the garage. Dale's up here patting himself on the back because I think it's looking more and more likely. To your point, Dale, we didn't see this coming. An unfortunate end. I know Hamlin hasn't had the best day so far, but I didn't see any damage when he spun right there, so we'll see what the 11 can do. See if they can capitalize, I guess the question, right? Can they capitalize?
Well, he drug the bottom off of it and still set on the pole, so I feel pretty good.
Hey, I'll say this, though. This is where it's huge for Reddick to win a stage. I mean, they haven't had to deal with this, right? But you got those 10 points in your pocket. Minimizes the damage at the end of the day, whatever Hamlin's able to do for me.
I think Adam basically just put your fire out right there. Well, just dumped water right on your idea.
It's a battle, me and him up here.
It's like these restarts. Bustle up.
So now if you're a driver, you just have to go do the same thing. I mean, you just watched what happened. And they're going to be pushing and shoving.
Hocevar in the outside line there behind Bubba Wallace.
Just a lot it's early in the race, but look at the mixture at the front top 10. There's a lot of opportunity for somebody to really have a breakthrough day.
Yeah.
Look at Riley Herbst up there. Bell with a great comeback. Suarez top 10 again. Eric Jones, Zane Smith, still players in the game. Top 10 for the restart. 31 laps to go. Stage 2, all Hendrick front row. Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson.
I like what I see here on this inside line. Herbst pushing the 5 down into turn 1. Can he clear? Bubba to the outside of the 9.
Larson to the lead. Here comes Bubba for second. Wound up outside lane off of turn 2.
Oh, we got man.
Brad Keselowski again. Caution number 7.
It looks like pretty hard contact.
Yeah, we're pretty big. I think I broke a right rear toe link.
Ooh.
The right front looks pretty bad too. I think we just need to go to the garage here.
So remember, flat tire earlier, he got up against the wall. So I don't know if he thought he broke a toe link causing the accident or a result of the accident. The result, I can tell you, is the right front suspension is completely torn off.
Yeah. All right, on board.
Can't tell if he just got loose or if he got hit. Oh, here we go.
The 42. 42 gets in the left rear.
Yep.
That's a hard hit, too.
Brad remains winless at his home track.
Yeah, I couldn't tell on the onboard, but it was crystal clear on that second look exactly what happened.
How about this? 7 cautions in this race a year ago total. We've already had 7 here today. We know we've got at least 1 more coming into stage 2, and not even to the halfway point. Here's Kim.
Austin Dillon, a part of that previous incident, that multi-car stack up during the restart. Austin, fast car today, though. What can you tell us from behind the wheel of that incident?
Yeah, no, our Dow Chevy was really fast, so it's super unfortunate. And I've seen one replay, but what I saw, it looked like the 77 got in the 42 and turned him across the of us today. And man, I hope at some point he figures it out. But I mean, I know I'm not going to show anything to him for a long time. It's just I'm mad because we had a fast race car. That truly it sucks. We almost got through it, and I saw the 11 coming down. I kind of gassed up to get by the 11, and the 45 was there. So it's unfortunate.
Austin disappointed. They were having a pretty solid run in that number 3, and he's had some pretty decent speed over the last couple of weeks.
And that makes it hurt more, right? When you have a good car, you have to capitalize, especially when you're having just not the year you're looking for.
Another restart coming when we return to Michigan. NASCAR fans can win this Cup car. Literally this car. Andrel is giving away an authentic Gen 6 Cup car. Scan the QR code to enter. Now that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Man, if you win it, Adam, will you drive us to and from the track?
Absolutely.
Could that be our new rental?
I'll have no more rentals. I'll just be driving that machine.
Man, that would be great.
Double A and Andrel. It just all works together, doesn't it? Yeah.
We're going to need AAA with you driving it.
That's very fair. Fans fired up. Great day for racing at Michigan. Let's see if we can find a little rhythm here. Larson, Elliott, front row.
Very even launch by both lanes. A little contact right there with Herbst and Larson. Look at Bubba back to the top again. It worked last time. He's going to try it again.
23, not afraid, outside lane. Chase Elliott sneaks through to the lead. Bubba to second. Look at Logano getting with it outside lane, racing around Herbst. And Hocevar right behind him. In the wake, taking the draft inside lane to fourth for driver 77.
He's got to get up the racetrack, take that air away. It's going to be a big run down the front straightaway for Christopher Bell. Look at 12 and Christopher Bell working together on that outside line.
Bell has done a really good job of being patient, taking it when it comes to him. Gets another spot here, going around Logano from the back to 7th in a stage point position for the man that's finished runner-up the last 2 weeks, Christopher Bell.
Battle for the lead, top of the screen. Bubba Wallace down into turn 3. Chase doesn't shut it off all the way. They're going to be side by side off of turn 4. Chase tried to get to the bottom and take the line away from Bubba, but he couldn't do it. Bubba's almost clear. Chase trying to battle back to the quarter panel, can't get there.
Aggressive slide up for Wallace, who takes over the race lead. Been a great day for 23-11.
I love what I'm seeing out of that car. We talk so much about the Toyotas, and it's been Reddick, Hamlin, and here it is, Bubba Wallace, reminding us he's still around, he's still here. He wants to climb up those points. As they run, he's all the way up to the top 10, so this could be a huge day for the 23.
But I was just going to say, great day for 23-11 when you talk about leading laps. I mean, Reddick led all those laps before the crash, 33 out front. Now Bubba's in control of the field, thinking about those stage points. And you'd love to get a stage victory here.
And you said rhythm. I think we're looking for it. Pit Road's looking for it. These drivers looking for it. They're ready to kind of settle back in.
Stenhouse and Chastain. Chastain was at the back of the field when this race was in stage 1. No speed at all. They've worked really hard to improve that number 1 car for Chastain up in the top 15. Denny still struggling to drive that number 11 through the field back here.
Ooh,
big bit of a wiggle there for Ty Dillon.
Say though, Hamlin's passing a lot of cars, spent all that time back outside the top 25, drives it into the top 10, had the spin, he's there again.
Chase is back to the inside of Bubba, not going to be able to get there. Larson and Hocevar back there behind these two. If they get the racing side by side, that'll draw Larson right back into this. Chase to the bottom of the racetrack. Bubba doesn't get there. Chase is going to be able to get to the inside here. A replay of these two guys earlier. I don't think that Chase has the momentum to clear. And he's just barely clear right there. Wow. So he's going to get in front of Bubba. Larson's coming, though, with some speed to the outside line. So is Hocevar. Both of those guys are at the top of the racetrack. Hocevar can't get it. Larson has it.
This is a role reversal, right? It's been a Chevy fighting the Toyotas. Now it's a Toyota fighting the Chevys. Chase Elliott there, Larson, Hocevar, and Bubba Wallace in the mix from the Toyota camp.
Larson around the top. Can he carry that momentum? That high line, there's something there if they can keep working on it. Be able to carry a lot of throttle around the top of the racetrack.
They're inching it up. It seems like their confidence are getting a little higher each time.
Well, there's nobody better than find that top line and make it work than Larson. Down to the bottom here on the inside of the 23. I think Bubba's going to clear off of turn 2 with the momentum. Actually, Bubba gets tight. Larson's going to get right back to that quarter panel. Side draft, slow him down, pull alongside.
Oh, he knew. He looked back there and saw who it was.
Oh, no. Hocevar is going to spin. Oh, man, what a save.
Incredible job hanging on to it for Hocevar.
The 5 was sideways. He almost wrecked. Hocevar just about wrecked as well. He did a heck of a job staying out of the door of the 23 car, Bubba Wallace. Man.
It was such a great job by Larson. He saw the 77 coming, and instead of pushing the 5, he knew he was going to try to take him 3 wide at the last minute. So look at Larson's shallow entry.
Yep. Larson's going to get loose first. Right there. Then the 77 just about gets into the 23. Bubba sees that happening. Bubba's driving up the racetrack going, oh, don't hit me. They all get away from this unscathed. What a series of events. That was awesome.
Hocevar falls back to 9th in the running order, and we ride on board with him here. Dale said it was awesome. This is what it's all about. Keep it off the wall, stay in the game.
I don't know who was holding their breath more, Hocevar or Bubba Wallace. You saw him coming up.
And you know who took advantage? Daniel Suarez, able to drive by and get up to 3rd. Riley Herbst was able to gain a spot there as well.
Yeah, Byron back there 9th, climbing from the back of the field. So we got C-Bill up here from the back, Byron from the back. Where's Denny? Denny's in 14th, still a little work to do. You hate to see that for Hocevar. I think Hocevar has a winning race car, but you can't, you don't want to give away 3 or 4 spots right there that you're going to have to work really hard to gain back. This race is only halfway through, but it's a quick one. 200 laps, it goes by really, really quick.
What's going on, Kim?
Well, points leader Tyler Reddick off track after that earlier incident. We saw you coughing. Are you okay? And what happened?
It was a bit smoky in there. Just quite a bit of stuff on the left side there. Got punctured, knocked around. So just, hot exhaust, burning some stuff up. So, yeah, I'm all right. Just it's a bummer for our Rockstar and G20 Camry. I feel like we had really good speed. And, yeah, we were set up to probably good restart, get second there, and probably up at the front of this thing, lead some more laps. So, yeah, just all around bummer. Wanted to come in here and have a really good points day. We had really, really good speed yesterday, and it showed again today. So, yeah, just all in all, bummer. Race I feel like could have won, got away from us, but, all year long we've done a really good job of staying out of messes like this. So, unfortunate it finally happened, but at least we got a couple stage points. We'll see if we get back out there. I haven't even heard if we can fix it or not yet. So, yeah, just not the day you want to have. We're trying to open it up on the 11 after losing a little bit of ground. So, yeah, we'll just have to grind out. Pocono's not going to be great. Going out real early in qualifying, so we'll have our work cut out for us starting early next weekend at Pocono. But we'll see if we can't get our Camry fixed and at least move up a couple more spots if possible.
Saw the points flash in there. Minus 86 is Hamlin behind Reddick now as the 45 sits idle in the garage. Good race for second, Larson and Suarez. 16 lead changes in the race today. 15 here last year. Chase Elliott, your leader. 11 laps to go, stage 2 at Michigan. You're watching the Cup Series on Prime, presented by Ram Trucks. Chase Elliott leads. Daniel Suarez up to second in front of Kyle Larson. Eric Jones, Christopher Bell in the top 5. You look at the top 10. A lot of drivers have faced some kind of a problem here today, but putting themselves in the game. Let's get a report from pit road. We start with Kim.
Leader Chase Elliott, currently P1, and I talked to crew chief Alan Gustafson, and he said, look, after yesterday, we feel like we were the best car behind the 45. Well, the 45 out of the race right now, and I asked, so how do you capitalize on having a good car? And Alan said, the goal is to push Chase to take risk. And I said, well, how do you do that? He said, making your driver the weak link is what motivates them. And this is a philosophy Alan has had for a very long time, even before Chase. He said, if the car is strong, if the pit crew is outstanding, if they're making good race calls, then it forces Chase to step up. And we are seeing that here today, Trevor.
Yeah, Kim, taking a look at that leaderboard, the 7 has crept his way up there with that 4-tire call they made at the last pit stop. I know it was forever ago, but they are the ones that are taking advantage of that call the most here with that speed. Think about Daniel Suarez back to Charlotte with that 2-tire call that got him the win and the momentum that carried him into Nashville. Now to here, Steve, that's a lot of forward momentum this team's building.
Yeah, Ryan Sparks. I've had a lot of conversations since that big Charlotte win with the crew chief of the 7, and he, much like how Kim reported on Allen, he's like, we just believe in our driver. I keep making the team better. We know that Daniel can get it done. Speaking of getting it done, the 11 of Denny Hamlin is driven up to the back of this. Great racing, a little bit of a mess, but great racing right in front of him now, the 35.
Yeah, pretty impressive. Bubba Wallace starting to fall back through the pack here, fall back into the backside of the top 10, talking about a loose race car. And Hocevar's been able to gain a few spots back. Byron all the way up to 6, so there's 4 Chevrolets in the top 6. This is not the storyline that I thought we would see today. You know, Toyotas have been really good over the last several weeks, all year really. But it looks like HMS is closing the gap. I know Reddick's crashed out of the race, but I believe the Chevrolets are starting to figure it out a little bit more each and every week. And the Fords, quite frankly, did not show up in practice at all. No one was fast, no one was happy. But as we get deeper and deeper into the run here and this racetrack changes, the 22 of Logano, Zane Smith, doing a lot of good work here.
Third straight week that Logano has been productive when you talk about climbing through the Chase standings. And as we ride right now, he finds himself above that cut line and looking for another spot here. Racing Bubba Wallace, another Ford, Zane Smith right there with him. 7 laps to go in the stage.
Really good corner exit by Zane in that 38. Thought he was gonna look left on the 22, but he almost pushed the 22 away, or the 22 got that draft off the 23 down the backstretch.
Yeah, Denny's trying to figure out how to put himself in a good spot as well to try to get leapfrog all 3 of these cars. He's a little bit better maybe than all of them. Bubba's just trying to figure out how to get to the end of the stage so he can work on the balance of this car. Here comes the Fords to the inside, teamed up. That's gonna get the 22 clear.
This is gonna give the 11 a good shot though. If he can get it turned down the hill without losing the nose of the race car, the 11 should have a run.
Yeah, the 38 might get by. He's gonna squeeze right in front. And Bubba's like, man, didn't like that.
Hamlin was looking outside. Bubba goes back to the inside.
38 a little bit loose, top of the racetrack. What's Denny do here? He's gonna get down here and maybe take him 3 wide.
He does.
2 for 1.
Hamlin on the comeback trail again. Gets Bubba, gets Zane. We'll see if he can complete it as they race off of turn 2. 5 to go in the stage. Outside lane with momentum. 38 strong. Hamlin hanging inside.
So it looked like Zane was going to fly right around Denny, but Denny got to the quarter panel and made that 38 super tight. So the 38 has to get off the gas. He can't complete the pass around the top. Denny's going to be able to take that line away down here in turn 3 and 4. Just super smart of Denny. Even though the 38 had the high line momentum, Denny stopped that car in his tracks when he got to the left rear quarter panel and made him really, really tight.
I'd say his average running position, stage 1 for Denny Hamlin was like 28th. Yeah. But they continued to fight. gained some track position, had the spin, but he's really starting to show now what he's got in position for stage points. 4 to go, second run of the day.
We talk about Michigan-born winners. Brad Keselowski. Nope, maybe Carson Hocevar. Eric Jones in the 43 says, what about me? He has driven by the 7 of Suarez up to second. Legacy continues to show improvements. Here he is running second. John Hunter Nemechek's kind of had an up and down day. He's back at 30th now, but he was kind of part of that big ricochet wreck on the front stretch. Not sure how much damage the 42 has.
That's how we started our day, talking about Eric Jones and the big send-off on NASCAR Live, coming from Byron, Michigan, his hometown, 90 minutes away. Done such a good job giving back to the community, Jones has. And boy, this would be a special opportunity for him, and it's no fluke. They've been really good, as we talked about in recent weeks.
He's a 1/10.5 quicker than Chase that last lap. Chasing a little bit of traffic right there, trying to get around a lap car. Wow, that was a really, really good lap by Jones there. 38.37. Chase Elliott at 38.98. See if Jones can get by this lap car.
Oh, he does. Clean and in a hurry.
I don't think he's got enough time to be able to get up there and steal the stage win, but I think Jones has got the best car on the racetrack right now.
4 tires compared to Chase Elliott's 2. You have to ask yourself, is that an advantage? Do I have to start looking at that in that final stage?
Well, and Trevor talked about the fact that Suarez, who was mixing it up with this group at the front, right now riding in third, also got those 4 tires when he pitted at lap 67. Final lap of the stage. Chase Elliott in front of Eric Jones.
Yeah, Chase
Suarez right there in third.
We talked about the tires cording. Chase could be nursing just some really, really worn right side tires home here. The final few corners. It could explain the loss of speed, as he's another 3/10 slower that lap. Cal the 9's just gingerly getting down into the corner there.
Yeah. Not want to put a lot of wheel to it.
Nope.
Chase Elliott's led the most laps today. 45 out front. He wins stage 2 at Michigan in front of Eric Jones for Elliott. Second stage victory of the year. Also got a stage win, stage 2 at Texas, went on to win the race.
Chase is making the most of it. That's 17 stage points earned today, sitting third in the standings. Could be a very valuable gain for the 9 car.
Denny Hamlin gets stage points after starting in the rear and having the spin. Pit stops ending stage 2. When we come back, you're watching NASCAR on Prime. NASCAR on Prime is brought to you by Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. Arby's, we have the meats. And by Logitech G, official wheel and pedal of eNASCAR. Stage 1, Stage 2 complete at Michigan. Chase Elliott, you talked about it going to break. 17 stage points, having a good afternoon. Same for Hocevar and Kyle Larson, double-digit day.
Inspire just 77-7. Right, 2 cars on this list every week. I think I got to just change my expectations, I'll be honest. I think I need to forget what I remember from this organization, forget what they've come from in the last 3 or 4 years. They're on the scene. I know they're going to continue to try to improve, but they're here.
8th and 9th in the standings as we run. They've improved their position here today with those stage points.
I'm assuming 4 tires for everybody. How much fuel do they need? How much will they take will be a deciding factor. Kim.
Eric Jones had a slow stop last time around, so we'll pay close attention. Last time the rear tire got caught. 4 fresh tires and fuel. No issues with the race car. He said pretty good. Chase Elliott, middle of your screen. Same as the start of the race, just a laziness with the front end. Trevor.
Daniel Suarez had a radio issue throughout most of the race. Really hard to hear him over that for his crew chief, but they're going 4 tires and fuel here, 1 can, and he said he had a small vibration. They did pick that up. Thought it might have been cords on the tires.
You get track position, you want to keep it. Chase Elliott wins the race off. Byron +3 behind him. Suarez, Busher, Bell, the top 5. Final stage on the way from Michigan.
Getting ready for the final stage here at Michigan. Guys, we saw the big one in stage 2, lap 83. Let's take you back. Martin, is this a responsibility here on the 77 of Hocevar?
Yeah, I mean, clearly he had some momentum coming to the 42, and in the last second maybe try to turn left. But you know, obviously in that situation, you got to just check up and try not to turn the guy around.
Well, we're here at a 2-mile racetrack, but at the end of the day, those restarts are a game of inches, because if he misjudges it by 4 inches, that's getting a couple rows of a run, getting some spots, or wiping out 12 cars. So just a slight misjudgment there, but that's how small these instances are between hero or zero.
It changes the complexity of the race as well, with 2 of the strongest cars, Martin, taken out. Tyler Reddick suffering his first DNF of the season. Toyota teammate Ty Gibbs as well.
Yeah, for sure, a tough spot for those guys. Ty was looking really strong, had an incident on pit road, and then Tyler, of course, like you said, his car was really strong as well, and he was looking good.
So who does this fall in the hands of, Corey, if you have to predict entering this final stage?
Well, of course, if you're Hendrick, you got to be sitting there licking your chops. Like, finally, somebody wiped out all these Toyotas so we could have a shot at the win here. And we're looking at all Hendrick front row, so maybe they can control and finally get in victory lane here in Michigan.
We have a long way to go. So I'm not predicting anything, but Chevrolet AA has not won here since 2017 with Kyle Larson, HMS since 2014 with Jeff Gordon. So you know some of these HMS guys would love to get it done. Mr. Hendrick is in attendance here at Michigan today.
Yeah, Danielle, a lot of drivers have ended long winless streaks here, but opportunity for manufacturer and team at Hendrick Motorsports, no doubt, on the line. And a couple of things to clean up here in this cycle. Todd Gilliland got the free pass. 97, Shane Van Gisbergen was speeding, and multiple pit stops for Chase Briscoe. 19 has been fighting some issues.
Denny Hamlin closer and closer to the front. I know he's complained about the balance on that race car all day being loose. It's going to drive better and better as you get closer toward the front of the field. Christopher Bell as well in the 20. Can Jones continue to be a threat? Go up there and grab a win.
William Byron, another driver qualified inside the top 10. Had to go to the rear, led 98 laps here a year ago. Twice he's been a runner-up in this race.
Hocevar lost some spots there in a bad moment in the race. Need to be moving forward on pit road from here on out.
He was 13th prior to the choose. Front row, Chase Elliott, William Byron. Final stage coming your way at Michigan.
Larson through the middle of Suarez right there.
Chase Elliott away with the lead. Bell slides to second. Byron back to third.
Suarez and Hamlin side by side for fifth. Suarez going to take the spot away from Denny.
7 strong today. Handful of stage points. Great track position. In position once again. Third straight week, they have made a major splash. And there's Hocevar trying to make up for lost time on the restart.
Yeah, he knows he needs to grab these spots while he can here with the field so close together on restarts. Gets a spot or two there, trying to climb back toward the top 10. Oh, Larson got some bad air right there. It's going to lose a spot to Denny Hamlin.
Look at Hamlin, continues the rally, put him into fourth.
He's just made a few good decisions. They've gotten the balance of that car better, but he's made a few good decisions on where to be, where to place that car. Now to the inside of the 24. It's not going to be able to get that done. Suarez back there getting tight on the inside of Larson. Here comes Jones to the inside of Suarez for position.
Yeah, the pit exchange not good for Eric Jones, but he's working his way back toward the top 5. Bubba Wallace there as well.
Jones buried it down into 3 to try to commit and clear. The 7 can't do it. They're side by side down the front straightaway. Wallace with a run here. What's he going to do? I think he's probably going to stay right here. Oh no, 3 wide. A little bit late.
If he does it, you know Hocevar's going to give it a shot.
It was a late move, and he knew it. And he got down to the corner and just said, all right, this isn't going to work. He's going to lose a spot here.
Thought he had the momentum. The move cost him some momentum. And as you said, it cost him a spot. Hocevar takes advantage from 13th to 8th for driver 77. And
way
here's
up the
Zane
racetrack.
Smith.
Yeah, the 23, that corner did not look good either. Wonder if he has some sort of issue, or that was straight up the racetrack into turn 3.
Byron to the inside of Christopher Bell here. 24 car looked good in practice. Hasn't had a lot of good weekends, good things to smile about. But they came to this racetrack knowing they dominated this race last year, had led a lot of laps. Come from the back of the field, finally up in the top 3. Finally able to see, as he said in the pre-race, what kind of race car he's got. How does he compare against the guys that are up here racing at the front of the field? looking pretty good right here.
69 laps to go in the race. Everyone will need a pit stop, so there will be green flag pit stops if we can stay under green. That has been a challenge today.
He's down on the bottom of the racetrack, a little less banking down there. Car turns a little bit better when you get on that flat part of the low groove. A little bit of a progressive banking in this racetrack, especially in 1 and 2.
See what this top speed looks like right in the toe. I think he's going to easily break through 200 miles an hour. We're going to see 2.0 something. Oh, yeah, look at this.
Wow, hit 204 into the corner.
That's what the draft does, and he does a nice job of kind of getting below the 20, get the downforce back to the car. Now right back in line.
Mid-corner speed, 185 at the slowest, Steve.
Yes, that's more impressive than 205 for me. Look at this draft, though, 203. This car is very draggy, so when you get back in line, the same reason guys lose spots when they're not in line is the same reason you see this massive top speed.
I love, though, what you did on NASCAR Live, Steve, explaining the dirty air and the role that it plays, the advantages and disadvantages of the draft at a place like Michigan.
Yeah, because it's two things. You're looking for clean air, but you're also entering the corner 5 miles an hour faster than you were when you get the draft. That makes those front tires really want to chatter across the racetrack.
Very interesting right there was a 20 car Christopher Bell in 1 and 2, ran the 3rd groove. Look at he gains on the 9 down the back straightaway. Now down here, bottom of the racetrack, surprised to not see him way up the top of the racetrack down here to kind of try that out on both ends of the racetrack to see if that makes the gain, because he's losing ground to Chase Elliott, but I really loved what I saw from Christopher Bell in turn 1 and 2. Not a lot of cars have been up in that top groove right there. There's a good amount of speed up there if your car's comfortable enough to run there. We saw earlier in the race, if you go to the right side of the car, you're going to be freer. It's a little bit looser. But if your car's comfortable enough, you can make a ton of speed running the top line of the racetrack.
Couple of Fords here. Logano, Buscher. Chastain so quiet today. They fought that number 1, but he's in the top 15. So is Noah Gragson. At least he was. Ryan Blaney able to sneak through for Team Penske. Quiet day for Blaney, who won here in 2021. Chase Elliott leads right now. back at Michigan. We do our FanDuel race check with 60 laps to go.
Well, throw a blanket over the top 4 and throw a blanket over them in the odds for good reason. I mean, I think the 20 is a smidge better than the 9 right now, but the 24 of William Byron right there in third's looking well, and Denny is back in the picture. So all 4 of those cars, I think, have car enough to win the race, Kim.
Yeah, and Christopher Bell in that second position. Remember, Corey talked about the creativity Bell showed in the truck race during NASCAR Countdown Live. Just things that he learned. Adam Stevens, his crew chief, was very complimentary and identified that as one of Christopher's strengths, his ability and willingness to search around. He's done that today. Before the last stop, he was loose everywhere, quiet during this run, followed by Byron running in that third position. And it's been a tough go for this team, but what has been their strength is remaining optimistic. Crew chief Rudy Bugle telling me, look, if we can execute today, we feel like we have the car and the speed to beat top 5. They are showing that right now. Byron currently in that third position, Trevor.
Tim, what looked like it was going to be a disaster for Denny Hamlin, but that spin at lap 83 turned into a really positive moment. They came down pit road at lap 86 to get 4 tires. They were able to take advantage of that on the next pit stop.
Caution number 9, tough break. Zane Smith, who's had a good day. Never finished outside the top 10 here, came in with lots of momentum.
Man, that's tough to see. Looks like the left rear tire's flat. I wonder if that was the issue getting down into turn 1.
Yeah, I think that's what you're going to see.
His teammate had a left rear tire go down as well. Todd Gilliland earlier in the race. Let's take a look here.
Top of your screen, you see Zane kind of by himself.
Yeah, he's wrecking into the corner. Not. This is on the 23 car, Bubba Wallace.
Zane was running 9th.
I think it was bottoming out a little bit there, Steve.
I saw a few sparks, which tells me that the air was coming out of the left. Even if it wasn't completely flat, it had lost enough air to make the thing bottom out and spark a little bit.
A lot of guys have been able to get enough of a warning on the straightaway to understand what was going on, whereas it doesn't look like Zane had that fortune.
Got his first career win in the Craftsman Truck Series right here at Michigan. And was trying to become the 3rd driver to do it at NASCAR's top level today. But unfortunately, day going to end with some disappointment. Eric Jones, 5th right now.
All right, well, another little predicament here. We're about 4 laps outside of the fuel window here. So, of course, I'll get a little messy.
Oh, I can assure you it's going to get a little messy, because this is one of those things that you have to come. You have no choice. When the leaders come to pit road, you have to come as well. So this is going to bring the whole field down to pit road. We're going to see how much fuel they need to be full, because everyone is going to want to leave full. Pit road closed at this first time around, which helps them. That gets them 1 lap closer to the window. And then it's going to be just a game of race really hard for a restart, get yourself in a position, and then try to save enough to get to the finish. Now, with the rash of yellows we've seen, you know, maybe we'll have enough yellows and none of this will be an issue, but I think at this point, you just have to believe this could be your final stop of the day.
Those season ranks for pit crews, big to monitor here, is you either look to grab or maintain some track position on what will be a really big cycle of stops.
And much like the first stop, watch your favorite driver's pit stop and really watch the fuel man. It comes down to, is it going to be 1 can, 2 cans? Is the jack man watching the fuel guy? Is he looking for that nod from the fuel man to assure it's full? Does that come before the left side tires are finished? Corey LaJoie, one of his kings, was the fuelers, much like we see here on pit road. And when he said negative plug time, what does he mean? He means they engage the fuel can before the car even stops, below 0. Like he is dumping gas as the car is coming to a stop. The best guys on pit road could pull that off. And that half a second or 0.3 of a second, that can be the difference of this entire pit stop right here. And that dump can, 14 gallons. That's 105 to 110 pounds. Adam, I know you would have no problem with that. It would be a bit of a struggle for Dale and I to get that up over our shoulders to chase a car down.
There would be a NASCAR penalty for too many men over the wall because I fell over with the fuel can. That's what would happen there.
I tell you, if I had to hand you the second can, we'd all just be laying down in the pit stall. It'd be a total mess.
You know, you said it yesterday, though, beginning of practice. It takes the magical mix.
Yes.
You got to have it all. So many details. I's dotted, T's crossed. if you're going to win at this place. Pit road is open. Here they come, Kim.
And for the 24 of William Byron, top of your screen, starting to get loose, needed a little more on the long run. The call, though, right side tires only and fuel. Chase Elliott down there. The middle 4 and fuel was the call. You see William Byron waiting on that fuel, and then Christopher Bell at the bottom. Needed it to be a little bit tighter, but said, guys, leave it alone as they wait on fuel. Trevor.
Hamlin started this race really free and stuck in traffic, but Chris Gale's made some great changes to get their team dialed in. The call is go on the jack here, guys.
4 tires for Hamlin. Got that +1 pit stall after winning the pole yesterday. William Byron, 2 tires. Same for Bell. Chastain, +11. Logano also getting 2 tires there. We'll reset the running order when we come back. Caution number 9 for Zane Smith. Aero coverage today at Michigan, brought to you by Goodyear, born on the track, built for the street. And now we do our Credit One Bank ones to watch. Lead us off, Steve.
Well, yeah, the 9 of Chase Elliott's led 67 laps today. He's never won here at Michigan, but 3 runner-ups. I was trying to short the poor guy. Second place finish. 3 runner-ups, a couple wins already in 2026. He's won the earliest he ever has in his career. He would love to give Mr. Hendrick a win here in Michigan. It hasn't happened since 2014.
I'm going to watch Eric Jones. I mean, he's been running well today, sitting there in 10th right now, trying to get a win for Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy's trying to rebuild this program, trying to improve it. It seems to be taking the correct path toward what they want to achieve. He's sitting right now, as we run, 19th in points, only 24 points out of the playoffs or out of the chase. Can you imagine this team actually putting together enough of a run to be able to get into the chase? Incredible day so far, having 9 points in the stages and looking for more.
I'm going to go with Christopher Bell, runner-up the last couple of weeks. Bell, though, despite the fact he's never been in the top 10 at Michigan, has had a wonderful day coming from the rear And you think about the position they're in here. I mean, this is a team that is motivated, got a shot to get their first win of 2026. I'm going driver 20.
Big cat and mouse game getting ready to be played here as well. They are going to race for all they're worth on this restart. But it is somewhere between 1 and 4 laps short of anybody who stayed in front of their fuel. There's a few cars that have got behind. I think the 1 at Chastain is one of those cars. The 22 of Logano also. I think they're a little bit shorter on fuel than everyone else because of their pit strategy today. So I say that because once you kind of settle in, who can be efficient while not giving up spots?
Big restart coming here, and it's going to happen with 53 laps to go. Byron Bell on the front row. Chase Elliott, first guy on 4 tires, inside of row 2. The green flag is out once again at Michigan International Speedway.
Good organization on the inside line for the HMS boys, and they're going to clear off into turn 1.
Look at Larson getting with it as well. Another driver that got 4 tires in that inside lane, looking strong.
Byron really didn't help his teammate out there. Could have got up the racetrack a little bit and gave Chase a little cleaner air through turns 1 and 2. It allows the 20 to get back to the outside, so they're side by side for second down into turn 3. 3 wide back there. Hocevar. Oh my goodness.
Elliott into Bell, hard hitting the wall. Tenth yellow of the day.
Window net drops on the 20. There's Christopher Bell. What a great sight to see this guy get out of the car. I haven't seen that hard of a hit in a long time.
Chase getting out as well.
The impact of that 20 car was insane.
Yeah, it didn't even look real.
It didn't, and what a great sight to see him out talking. Yeah, they're racing side by side down into turn 3, and it's like Chase has a little bit of a big moment, and he just gets a little bit loose underneath the 20, and correcting the car makes contact, and it sends Christopher Bell hard into the outside wall.
Just a violent hit for both drivers.
Look at that safer barrier, and it moves 50% of the way to that outside wall.
I want to give NASCAR a ton of credit. All the safety inside the cars, the headrests. There they are.
Man, what an exchange.
I don't know if you'll see a car hit a wall harder than that, and our drivers get out and walk away because of all of the research and development, years and years of hard work by countless individuals to make the race cars safer, the walls safer.
Riding with Bell.
That's violent. That just takes your breath away just watching. NASCAR's done a ton of work on these cars to allow them to absorb those type of impacts. The drivers were heavily involved in pushing for that.
Yeah, watch this deflection with this 20 car hit. Watch the wall right here. Look at this. Let me try to see if I can get this zoomed in. I mean, look at this, just the impact. That thing is moved 50% of the way. Those are foam blocks. The wall that the drivers hit is a stacked steel, basically square tubing, for lack of a better term. The pieces you see between that and the outside wall, the original outside wall, are styrofoam blocks, energy absorption blocks. And I mean, look at this. I mean, look at the damage to that piece of steel right there.
There's more.
That is man, I haven't seen one stay in that form in quite some time.
It's possibly we'll be repairing and replacing that before we continue this race. The other thing I would say too is that unfortunately is the ultimate test and data point for NASCAR, and they will learn so much from this incident. They will take this incident and all of they have technology on board to measure the G-forces and all the things that the drivers go through and the car goes through. And even more will be learned from what we just saw today.
See the graphic, 10th caution today, ties the track record, and that caution is now turned to red as we repair the wall. Hard hit for Christopher Bell and Chase Elliott. And now we do our all-day value presented by IHOP.
Research and development and safety. You know, it's an ongoing quest to make these race cars and driving race cars safer. And NASCAR has done a ton of work over the last 75 years, particularly in the last couple of decades. And you can't stop. You can't be satisfied. You can't rest. Even with everything we have inside these cars, all of the technology and things that we've learned, you have to keep looking at it, saying, is it as good as it can be? And where are we still weak, and where are we still problematic? And as long as we continue to, you know, crash cars and learn from those situations on how these cars absorb these impacts, how these drivers handle these crashes, we're always going to be trying to make it better for them. And I'm so thankful for all the work that's been done, because I don't think you'll see a car hit a wall at a worse angle, at a harder, faster impact than right there. And Christopher Bell was able to drop the window net and climb out. It's remarkable.
It's not going to surprise me if NASCAR takes that one back to the R&D center. They do that at times with big impacts. And nothing. This is great racing, hard racing, and the 9 goes for a big loose moment. And when he corrects, there's just nowhere to go except for into the 20. And I'll tell you, that moment between the two drivers standing there, you can see how hard of competitors they are. But Chase obviously knew how severe that wreck was. Went and checked on Bell. Here you go, riding on board with Chase.
You know, you guys talk about the safety elements and all that's been done over the years at these racetracks, and it makes me think of Dr. Dean Sicking, the inventor of the safer barrier, who last year, 2025, went into the NASCAR Hall of Fame as a landmark award recipient. And I remember interviewing him, and just incredibly humble. He gave all the credit to his team, but no doubt you think about the foundation of what they've done and the difference it's made, just remarkable.
The other thing too that is difficult, all the other drivers that were a witness to that, right? And they saw that crash and that impact, and they know better than any of us really of the danger and what they just witnessed, and they're getting information about Christopher getting out, and he's fine, and he was able to escape, get out of his car under his own power. But they now, all of these drivers, particularly those ones up front that were right there around this accident, have to compartmentalize that fear or that danger and that knowledge of that. They can't, that's up front in their face. And now they have to go, I've got to go out here and continue to put myself in that situation and at that risk. It's incredible. I think we kind of forget about that sometimes because we humanize them, but they have to ignore a lot of trauma and a lot of dangers and fears to go out there and risk their lives and take chances that a lot of us aren't willing to take. And that's another thing the rest of the field's having to do at this moment.
We do lose sight in sports of the human element because so many times we see athletes, in this case drivers, as superhuman. And I've thought about that many times in other sports, Dale, when you have a major injury and you watch, one of your teammates that's, carted off the field, and you have to regroup, compartmentalize, and focus on the task at hand. But we can never understand or appreciate watching what that's like for you guys as athletes to try to put that in the rearview mirror, knowing these are many times your friends that you spend a lot of time with away from the racetrack, and you're concerned for their well-being.
Absolutely.
Let's go to Kim.
Chase Elliott out of the care center. Chase, a really hard hit. First, are you okay? And then walk me through what happened.
Yeah, I'm fine. Totally my fault. I feel really bad for Bell, and just taking him out. I was just trying to run in the bottom and kind of make use of our fresh tires and try and at least get to second. I was hoping, or hopefully even stay side by side with him. But yeah, got in there, got free, and thought I was going to spin, and was kind of committing to spinning out. And as soon as I started to commit to spinning, it just hooked up and hooked to right, and unfortunately, sent Christopher in the wall super hard, and me shortly there behind. So yeah, just racing really hard. I felt like that was kind of a turning point in the race. We needed to make something happen, and stepped over the line again and paid for it.
We saw you console Christopher, and then you guys kind of console each other. What was the exchange?
I just told him I'm sorry. I mean, obviously it was not on purpose, but I knew that, that was a big hit for both of us. I think he took the brunt of it, honestly, and probably two really big hits, and just, have a lot of respect for Bell, and we always race each other with a lot of respect, I feel like, on track, and not that you want that to happen to anyone, but, certainly just, I knew it was a big one, and it was nothing intentional, just stepped over the line, and I'm glad he was all right.
And then finally, I know this is not how you wanted to end the day, but if you look at the day collectively as a whole, what are the positives you see in the gains the team has made?
Yeah, I mean, I thought we had a really solid day going. We just needed to finish off, you know, whatever was going to come next. I'm not sure, but, you know, was able to lead some laps and get a stage win there, get some points. We just needed to, just needed to finish it off. I don't know what the rest of the day was going to bring, like I said, but it was solid. Thought we were, you know, going to have a shot at it. Just needed to get there to find out, and we didn't.
Steve, you said before that restart that this was one where they were going to turn it up, and Chase basically said the same thing. Said he knew it was a moment he had to go and he had to push a little bit harder than he had all day long, and he learned that, you know, the car wasn't really capable of it, or that's the interesting thing about this sport is there will be times when you got to get down in the corner deeper than you ever have, and you hope that the car's got what you need. And he found himself in a bad spot there aerodynamically. Just fascinating to think about the commitment that those drivers try to make when a win and a spot's needed. A spot they know they got to get in that moment.
Well, we saw the big impact of the two cars involved, the 20 and the 9, but the impact was so big it kind of sent a field of debris. So it's hard to see, but if you look really close at the roof of the 5, the antenna is kind of bent. And I was reading some of the radio communication. They were wondering if they still had clear communication between the 5 and his team. So we went back and tried to figure out what it was, and men and women in the replay truck doing a great job. Check the side window up from the 20 car into play. Right there, hits the roof of the 5 car. So it doesn't look like there's any heavy damage to the roof of the 5. I think the antenna is still there. It's just bent a little bit, but you talked about the drivers driving through and driving past that accident and seeing it. I mean, it's got to be, you see a lot of wrecks, but you and I both up here, I think we lost our breath for a second. We're just watching out the window. I can't imagine what the guys are feeling who are going through there at speed. And now they get to go, and here's what's the craziest part. They're getting ready to go do it all over again, and they're not going to look or feel, or they're not going to be 1 mile an hour slower than this 20 car was the last time through that corner.
I mean, we're up here in the booth, and my chest hurts just from the emotion of that whole that whole sequence. And I can't imagine being behind the wheel of one of these race cars knowing you got to finish, you got 50 laps to go. You got to go out there and try to make it happen.
Been an eventful day here at Michigan International Speedway. Our 10th caution leads to a red. Going to be just over 50 laps to go when we go racing again here in the Irish Hills. Been a good weekend here in Michigan. Next week, the scene shifts to Pocono, Long Pond, Pennsylvania. ARCA on track, FS1, 3 o'clock Eastern time on Friday. O'Reilly back in action after a weekend off Saturday, 4 o'clock Eastern time on CW. And the Cup race on Prime. Coverage begins 2 o'clock Eastern time. Sunday from the Poconos, it's NASCAR on Prime. Race 4 in our 5-race stretch. It's been going way too fast. Why don't we dial up William Byron?
All right, let's see if we can get a hold of William here. William, Mr. Guys in the booth, you got us?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, you had a pretty good car in practice. We talked about that this morning on the pre-race, and here you are at the front of the field. How's the balance of the car, and you think you got enough to get the win?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a good weekend. Just kind of had to start there in the back, and the air back there is just really dirty and chaotic back there too. So yeah, just had to get some cleaner air. I feel like my balance is pretty good. I've been kind of back and forth the last few rounds, so just got to keep kind of hitting it and finding some different stuff on track.
Yeah, talking about finding some different stuff on track. Explain that to us. You know, there's different lines to run through here, and traditionally it's been kind of narrow for years, but this track is pretty wide today. Where's your car comfortable?
Yeah, I mean, it's really wide enough to, like, there's 3 options, so it's just really trying to figure out whatever your car does. It's just hard because, like, the middle is still the cleanest and the fastest lane, so moving around just kind of, you could lose some time searching for that and cleaning it off. So, yeah, just trying to figure it out. I felt like the last round I thought Bell was really good at moving around and had 1 and 2 pretty figured out, so just got to figure out, for me, I got to figure out 3 and 4.
3 and 4, buddy. Well, we get going again here. Good luck. 50 laps to go. Hopefully you can get here in victory lane.
Yeah, thanks, fellas. Say hi to Mom back home.
There you go.
Hi to Mom. Very smart dude there.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah, he's talked about Christopher Bell figuring out turn 1 and 2, and I think he's talking about how he was running that 3rd groove, and there is some speed to be found at the top of the racetrack in 1 and 2, and I agree with him. We saw the same guy, Christopher Bell, who was finding that speed up there, not doing that in turn 3 and 4, and I'm curious as to why they wouldn't go to the 3rd groove. If it's working at one end, you try it at the other, but something about 3 and 4 that is unique and different, and it seems like it's a bit of a puzzle for all the drivers to figure out how to get through that part of the racetrack best. If the lead car is taking the preferred line, which is the center of the racetrack, the middle groove, you've got to find a way to get around, you know, the bottom or the top and make that work for your car.
The other thought is now this track is just set idle for a good period
Rested
of time.
like a steak.
And
you know?
what happens to it? What are you thinking from a strategy perspective? I mean, there's a whole lot that will go into this next restart and this next phase of the race.
All right, we got a chance to talk to another driver, Hocevar. Let's see if he's got something to say. Hey, Hocevar, it's the booth. You got us?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, you've had a wild race. I know you've kind of lost a little bit of track position, but got it back, got a lot of spots on that last restart. You got enough car to get the win today?
Man, I hope so. I think our car is plenty capable. We'll just see how it shakes out, but I'll just gotta keep making the moves I have. But everybody's gonna get pretty smart, and so I'm gonna have to just keep adapting and doing everything right. Just because I was good on last few restarts doesn't mean I'm gonna be good on the next few. So I just gotta really buckle down. But I think it's no secret I want this one probably more than any of them. So I'm just glad I got a car. As good as I do to have that shot, and my pit crew and everybody's been doing a really good job.
Speaking of restarts, we had quite an accident, and you were kind of involved in what went down. Can you recall or explain to us kind of what you saw from your vantage point?
Oh hell, I don't even really remember what happened, other than just a stack up. But I just saw the wreck that happened ahead of me, and I'm just still. I mean, that looked like hard hit. So, yeah, I just like it right now. I like my car and everything. So, Ziegler Group, Aaron Ziegler's at Greece right now. So, I'd like to win just to give him a hard time that we can only win without him here.
All right, buddy, it's time to fire him up. Good luck going forward.
Thanks, Dale. Means a lot.
That's pretty cool. I think about Hocevar, and he said this when he talked to Kim after qualifying yesterday. He said, I finished third in a truck race. I was second in qualifying. So he's kind of stair-stepping his way to this moment, being in position to win. Some ebbs and flows for him today.
Yeah.
It hasn't been easy. You talk about the accident, the restart, and his involvement earlier in the race, but here he is, final portion of it, and he's very much in position.
He made a lot of great moves on that last restart, and now he's back in position, striking distance to try to go up there and win the race. And considering who's around him, Chastain, Suarez, Byron, I think he's better than those cars once we get going. So good shot and a good opportunity for Carson Hocevar today.
Now we take a look at our burn bar presented by Red Bull.
Yeah, sitting on a red, you would think fuel shouldn't be at the top of our minds, but it absolutely is. Remember, this race restarted outside of the fuel window. I estimated they needed to get about 5.2 to 5.3 miles per gallon for this entire run. And when you look at where the leaders are, they're under 5. The majority of them are under 5 with the hard racing we're seeing. So will that push some of these cars to pit road right here? Or will they think that under yellow they could save enough and increase that average mile per gallon high enough to make it to the end of the race? Because what we have seen on those restarts is you are going to be throttled down, burning gas. Will it get spread out enough to save some? We will see. Either way, though, still 51 to go, soon to be 50 to go in this race as they cross the start-finish this time by.
Red flag just over 20 minutes. And now back under caution and ready for the fourth quarter of this race. Such an interesting collection of names when you look at the top 10 in our pylon. So many different organizations. All the manufacturers are there.
You mentioned the track sitting, but like cars sit, the tire, like everything always fires off different. Right here, pit road is open. I'm looking at the green light, so no takers at the front. Now, I do believe this makes sense. If I'm a leader, I'm not pitting. 29 cars in the lead lap, but if I'm 20th on back, 22nd on back, I might come top off with gas, like try to find an advantage. What's my advantage to the rest of the field? I don't think they have a whole lot of tires to use.
They almost feel pretty good about their fuel.
There's Allmendinger, so he's going to be the first. Not very many guys coming, so yeah, to your point.
Just a couple coming down. So we'll step aside, get the restart when we return. Byron, Suarez, Chastain, Larson, Hamlin, the top 5. It's one of the great scenes in NASCAR, Michigan International Speedway. Then a wild race here today. 90 minutes west of Detroit. I'm happy to tell you we're commercial free till the end. And if it goes green from now until the end, boy, there's going to be some anxious moments on those pit boxes in regard to the fuel gauge.
And there's going to be some anxious moments on the spotter stand and behind the wheel and on the pit boxes on these restarts. The racing is, you say it every week, Dale, you know, it looks crazy on the first start and then the next start and the next start. But these drivers seem to find a way as we get closer to the finish, that the risk goes up. They put themselves in a position that they know are bad positions, but we heard Chase Elliott say he thought this was a moment in the race, an intersection where he had to push the issue. If he lets the 20 get away, he might never get side by side with him again. He felt like he knew that was the chance that his car could get, ill handling or loose underneath the 20, and he's still willing to take it at 190 miles an hour in the middle of the corner.
Yeah, you know that, we could run this thing out to the finish, and making that pass is much easier on a restart when everybody's all packed together. And so everybody's going to start taking big chances down into turn 1 and through turns 3 and 4 on this next restart and any other restart we have beyond this point. Knowing that once we start to get single file and spread out, it's tough to pass when you're in the top 10. The top 10, the top 5, that's the best cars on the racetrack. It's hard to pass them. And so to believe that you're just going to settle in and then drive through the field to win this race, that's not happening. You're going to have to make these passes and be aggressive right as soon as the green flag comes out while you can. So
let's get a few thoughts from pit road. We start with Kim.
And for leader William Byron, that team still not quite comfortable on where they are for fuel. They told William we're still about 1 caution away from feeling good. And remember, they ran out of fuel last year. In fact, I talked with crew chief Rudy Fugel about that and said, look, we were only about half a lap short last year. So that's something we're going to be really wary of. They had conversations about it, and the goal was to make sure Williams a little more partial throttle when he needs to be saving. So we'll see if we get that caution they need, Marty.
Boy, Kim, look who's sitting in third, Trackhouse Racing and Ross Chastain. Yes, the same Ross Chastain who barely stayed on the lead lap at the end of stage 1. Brandon McSwain with the call to go with 2 tires here. And Ross really kind of called it. He said, hey, listen, we've done such a good job of making the car better and the front end work. Let's try something. But because of those 2 tires, Trevor, they are short on fuel even with his caution.
Joey Logano has had a quiet but competitive day inside the top 10 most of the day. He is on 2 tires, much like Ross Chastain, but crew chief Paul Wolfe has been assuring Joey Logano that they are more than good on fuel. He's asking him to just save a little bit extra in case there is overtime. Don't forget about that, guys, because this race has been crazy.
If there's one car I would like to understand the fuel mileage better than the entire field, it's this 22 of Logano. I feel like there's some weeks they make fuel in this car, and here they are once again feeling good about their fuel window. What a shock if the 22 could steal a win at Michigan.
HMS on the inside with Byron and Larson on the outside. Strange couple of Suarez and Chastain. They don't always get along with each other, but they're going to need each other right here on this restart.
No doubt. Teammates working together on the inside, old teammates on the outside. Will they work together? 47 laps to go. Byron, the control car, as we are once again racing at Michigan.
Great organization in the outside line, but the 5 and the 24 are together as well.
Bowman pulling out of line.
Denny to the top of the racetrack, trying to go 3 wide around Chastain.
Hamlin making it happen in the 11. The time is now for the pole sitter who had to drop to the rear. 2 for 1, maybe for Hamlin. Yes, he's up to third, side by side for the lead.
He's going to have a big run on the 2. They're side by side up there. What's he do with it? He's going to back it off and run the top. The 77 sends it in on the bottom.
Daniel Suarez going outside for the top spot. Hamlin looking at the outside of Byron, checks in line.
Hocevar has to give up the outside to the 5. He's going to lose spots. We got a crash down the front straightaway. Multiple cars.
Dow.
Several cars spinning to the grass.
Jr. Austin Hill through the grass.
They look like a very traditional Michigan wreck as they exit turn 4. It kind of funnels together there, and someone didn't look clear of someone else, and then they just started collecting.
This is crazy. I mean,
it really is.
When we got the point system, it was almost like a full season points, and you thought drivers, at least in the first half of the season, have been taking a little bit better care of their cars, not taking risks, not doing anything that's going to knock them out of a race and have a bad points day. But in the last couple of weeks, it seems like there's just a lot of risk taking, a lot of gambling, a lot of drivers taking big moments and sometimes creating crashes, creating accidents. We'll see how it starts here.
Oh, contact between the 71 to the rear bumper of the 47.
Yeah.
I thought he had caught him in the quarter panel when I was watching out the window, but that was directly in the rear bumper. Be interested to get Ricky Stenhouse's opinion of that, or if there's more to the story. Maybe it was a misjudgment. Maybe it was something we hadn't seen laps ago.
Just a very, very light touch.
I almost want to say the 47 was a little loose before. I couldn't tell from that angle, but there was definite contact. I'm not saying there
Bottom of 3 here.
Let's watch this.
Bottom of 3, top stacking. Bottom of 3, break it down. Check. Hold the brake.
Poor Priest didn't see anything coming.
You're good to let it roll straight, right top flat.
How about Priest? Hadn't finished off the lead lap all year, crashed in the 600.
He says, what just happened?
At Nashville, and in the middle of it again today at Michigan.
Yeah. Man, this is a hard hit for Stenhouse into the outside wall.
This thing's starting to look like a Speedway race. Parts and pieces everywhere. Josh Berry, the 21 car. It has not been a great year for speed, but even other weeks, if there's a wreck, they somehow get caught up in it. We rode on board with Priest. Let's listen into the radio.
Who hooked them? It was the 4 and the 47 came up, and it hooked the 4 down into our right rear. I mean, I gave him enough room, right? Yeah, did 4. He just came off the wall. Stupid.
So he was asking who hooked him because he didn't see the wreck. It caught him in the right rear quarter panel. Now, got to remember, the spotter doesn't have the 4 replays we just had. He saw it one time in full speed, which is kind of what I saw out the window. This is where I think it's important for the crew chief, if you saw the replays, just, hey, it looks to me like there's more to the story. If I'm Priest, I'm absolutely irate. Like, what happened? How did I get hooked in the right rear? So,
see the cars involved in this one. Had a little bit of everything with these 11 cautions today. And breaking records in that regard. Just incredible. Let's get an update. William Byron. Kim, what do you got?
Yeah, Adam, I talked earlier how they needed one more caution, they felt like, to make it to the end of the race. Well, here's the caution. Crew Chief Rudy Fuqua came on the radio and told William this should get us to the end, and that should stands out to me. There was not a directive of, okay, you can hard charge, or okay, we need some savings still. So, Dale, if your crew chief is telling you we should be good to the end, what are you doing as a driver?
I'm trying to shut the car off and coast as much as I can under caution to save, even during this period of time. I mean, this does, it's a great opportunity to just continue to build on that assurance and also as much action as we've had today. There's nothing that says we couldn't have a green-white checker. And so you want to have as much as you can. You're not coming back to pit road if you can help it. And you're going to, like you hear him right here, he's got the engine shut off. So he'll roll up here and coast, not using any fuel at all. And then when he needs to, he fires the motor up, runs a little bit, gets his speed back up, clutches it, turns the engine back off again, just cycles that over and over and over.
I would just point out, we talk a lot about fuel mileage, 44 laps to 88 miles. So, it's not around the corner, right? We're 88 miles of racing left, and I think that's some of the quote is that, I don't know, let's see how fast you guys run if this thing does get restarted. There's still some assumption in it. Maybe we can get a crew chief to answer that question.
Perfect timing. Trevor, what's happening?
Yeah, Daniel Suarez and Ryan Sparks have had some momentum the last few weeks with that Charlotte win, and now you're leading this race. We got to know how much fuel's in the tank, Ryan.
Yeah, I think we got enough to get to the end with these cautions here, so glad to have our teammate up there with us to kind of navigate this traffic, but looking forward to keeping this Nation Guard Chevy up front and see if we can bring another one home.
Awesome, man. Good luck to you guys. I'm sure he's hoping for some of those Charlotte restarts, guys.
All right, I'm going to have to give him most improved interview. I picked on him because we interviewed him at Charlotte, and he was excited, and he was and he talked really, really fast, which I do. So I had to coach him down, told him to take a breath. A+ interview, and great job by Ryan Sparks. When we talk about Spire and the rebuilding, I want to point out he was employee 3 of the entire organization. So you want to talk about someone that saw the infancy of this race team going onto the racetrack, and here he is with Suarez. He got that big win at the 600. Now he's got his guy out front on a race that we knew strategy was going to be important, and Suarez is doing the job behind the wheel, driving a heck of a race.
The tough thing is the choose. So we've seen the control car continue to take the top multiple times and get beat by that inside line down into turn 1. So there's no wrong or right answer, I don't think, on choosing inside or out. So what does he do now? He has his teammate behind him. What lane could they choose that might assure that Hocevar would line up? I think that's the inside.
That was what I was going to tell you is I'm a little scared to have Hamlin behind me because he was just 3 wide a minute ago, so he's not going to push if he doesn't have to.
Yeah.
Does Hocevar push Suarez? I mean, even a Hocevar who is a little young and aggressive, I still think he would push his teammate.
I believe that Byron would gladly take the top if you give it to him. Hamlin also in third would gladly choose the outside line, and that would get Hocevar the chance to line up on the inside behind his teammate should the 7 choose the bottom. And that gives you a little more assurance and dependability of a good shove down the front straightaway, and the inside line has won that battle more often than not.
You know, we were talking about Suarez and the day he's put together, and in general, what Spire's been able to do. But with his efforts today, Suarez, as they run, 7th on the board in the chase standings. Hocevar right behind them. They both have picked up spots here today. You go over to the right side of the screen, you look at the reset. We got a long way to go, right? But we have hit the summer stretch. We're just about to that point where we're talking about the race to the chase, that 10-lap run to the end of the regular season. And these 2 Spire cars delivering at a high level. Not just the wins they were able to get at Talladega for Hocevar and the Coke 600 for Suarez, but the consistency, the stage points, and putting yourself in position week in, week out.
So easy to say. Just put ourselves in position. Just keep doing it. But it takes so, I mean, Sundays are so hard. This field is so good.
The control car usually picks the top because that kind of forces everyone behind him to push. You know, you can't go high, you can't go low because you got a lane on the inside and you got a wall on the outside. So it almost assures you're going to get the push down the front straightaway to turn 1. But if he can guarantee that he's got a teammate in Hocevar that would stick with him down into turn 1, maybe that inside line is the way to go.
Well, I think we're going to get to see it here. I hear we're coming to 1 to go. Well, 2 to go. So I was getting excited. Thought we were going to get to see it.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you got question marks on fuel, and we've documented that for some of these guys up front and where they stand in relation to the fuel mileage game, you keep adding laps.
Yeah.
I mean, you just keep saving and you get more and more in a positive position. The other thing you can't rule out here, overtime, right? I mean, we're talking about getting to the checkered flag, but it's not out of the realm of possibility, certainly, that we could have an extra session, which would change the game when you talk about that target number on fuel.
Well, let's remind everybody of the last replay, right? So let's just take a look right here. I want to point out this guy right here. Let's talk about Denny Hamlin, outside row 3. As we roll this forward, Dale, to your point, he pushes through the restart zone. He can't get out of line till the start-finish. And when they cross the start-finish, it is still in line, and look at this hard right on quarter entry. The timing is pretty impressive. There was a little bit of a bumper car situation, and Denny timed it perfectly to the outside. I didn't think he was going to clear it here. It looked like he was losing momentum. Then as he throttled up and got to the 5, just an impressive restart. Look who else, Hocevar on the exact opposite side of the racetrack, that yellow and black 77 also finding his way to the front. And we got down in here. I think if we're 10 laps later, or 10 laps to go in the race, Denny might roll to the outside of the 7. I think it's still early enough with 41 to go to be happy with the 1 row gain.
Yeah.
Hey, I know it's not a short little shootout, right, when we get the restart here. We're going to have some, 40 laps or so to go when we get the green flag. But I will say, I got to rewind to last week at Nashville, and the big restart was won by Hamlin. He's been beaten up on the restarts, and even though that restart came inside of 10 to go and you can see the checkered flag, he was able to deliver. If you get a good restart here, you take control. This could be the one that goes a long way in deciding it.
We mentioned where Denny came from, but look back there. We have Wallace, Jones, Chastain, Logano.
Suarez likes the top. Worked last restart, so he's going to stay up there again.
Denny, to your point, Denny takes the top behind him.
Yep. The only thing is you got to be sure to guard that right rear, not allow Denny to jump out there and start to side draft you before quarter entry. Denny's going to try to do that. He's absolutely would love to do that, to jump to the right side of that 7 car.
Let's go back to last week. Talk about delivering on a restart. Hamlin starts on the pole, jumps the start, goes to the back, spends all night long getting back in the game, and when the money's on the line, here comes number 11.
He just wrapped the bottom real clean, run a shorter distance, was able to clear the 20 and beats him to the finish line.
You're talking about Denny on this restart outside lane, and how aggressive he might be. I look at the guy right behind him after the choose, Larson, not afraid to drive it out to the high side.
It's not a question if we're going to be three wide. I'm just trying to figure out what 3 cars it's going to be.
That's right.
Because somebody is going to end up there. With the 77 there, heck, it could be 4 wide.
Got a lot of great stories up inside the top 10. And whoever wins it today is going to earn it. 11 cautions, a red flag, so many exchanges at the front. 23 cars in this race have been involved in an accident.
Eric Jones back here in 5th. Might have been the best car on the racetrack the last 50 laps or so.
39 laps to go. Suarez, Byron, front row.
Not a lot of organization on the inside line. No connection between anybody, really. Suarez almost clear.
Look at Hocevar dive into the inside of Byron, 3 wide for second.
Hocevar almost battling for the lead. He is. He's on the quarter panel. What a run by Carson Hocevar through turns 1 and 2 down the back straightaway.
Major motivation for this 23-year-old from Portage, Michigan. Hocevar is there. Suarez hanging outside. Hamlin clear to 3rd. I thought Suarez was going to get him, but Hocevar not going away, and here comes Denny. Looked in the middle, now he goes to the inside. 3 wide to 1. Hamlin on point. Another restart delivery from the veteran. How about it?
That 11 car is going to get wide. He'll be impossible to pass.
Oh, yes. He'll be spraying that dirty air back there.
7's going to clear the 77 down the back straightaway. Teammates racing side by side. Gave up the lead to the 11. Here goes Suarez trying to battle back. Wallace to 4th over Byron.
Bubba's had a great day. Now just needs to finish it. 37 to go, still a long way, but clean air is king and control of the race is what you want, and Denny Hamlin has got it.
Yeah, we have no idea just how good this 11 car is. He's not been at the front of the field all day long. Seems to be driving away, putting together laps. Almost 3/10 faster than Suarez last time by. Suarez is going to try to take the line away from the 77. Trying to keep second place. Here comes Bubba Wallace to the inside. Almost contact right there with Carson. Little side draft's going to pull that 23 car clear.
Bubba Wallace knows the time is now. Put him in the 3rd position. Maybe not. Hocevar not giving up.
Yeah, Hocevar was able to get to the quarter panel. He's going to be able to stay there. Coming off of turn 2, he gets a little bit tight. Wow. Byron almost wrecked it off of turn 2. Good save by the 24.
Major wiggle for the 24. Logano hanging back there behind him. Jones continues in the top 10.
Oh, into the wall, Hocevar.
Hey, Tom, just get your momentum.
Get your momentum back. That was a spotter. Try to get your momentum going back in the right direction, but a pretty heavy bit of contact with both right side wheels. We'll see if that 77 still has him pointing straight. You see he's on the outside of the 23, just loses the car up the racetrack, and he needs about 2 extra feet that's not there. From that view, actually, it looked worse than I thought. Just a little.
He's battling back.
It's not as bad as I thought originally.
He's on the inside going by Logano, taking that spot back. So the speed's still there in that car, Steve.
An exhale from the pit box.
What do you think about last year? I mean, he was leading this race late, has the tire issue. So he has smelled the front here late in races.
Okay, this 5 car struggling right now all the way back to 10th. Having a hard time. Yeah, he's having a hard time trying to get forward here. He's gotten a few bad spots aero-wise. It's cost him a little bit of momentum and speed.
Cindric right behind this group. Came into this race dancing right around that chase cut line. He's still right there. Every position being a point for him is enormous.
Oh, a little bit loose right there for the 5. He tried to jump up in front of the 17, just overcorrecting the car, trying to save the spin. He was about to wreck. Carson to the bottom of the racetrack. It's not going to be able to clear Chastain. Chastain's battling back on the outside here. 17 trying to go the inside now. Buscher.
Great track for Buscher, looking for his 4th consecutive top 10 here.
Last lap on the racetrack, Denny Hamlin a 10th slower than Suarez. That's the first lap where Suarez was able to better the lap time of the 11 out front. Denny maybe just doing a little protection on that throttle, saving a little fuel when he can.
Saving a little fuel, saving a little tire. I think if you're Denny, you assume if the yellow comes out now, you're probably not coming to pit road. This set of Goodyears might be what you need all the way to the end.
Wallace hanging around just over a second behind.
And another lap where Suarez was a 10th quicker than Denny.
Remember earlier in the day, we heard that radio from Denny Hamlin said he was just so out of control loose. We know this car in general builds loose. So is that the weakness of the 11 today? We talk about restarts. Well, it fired off amazingly. It did everything it needed to do on the short run, but have they gone too far? Do they now have a short run car? Will it manage itself over the longer run? That has been his strength all year long. But
let's get a report, Bubba Wallace, Marty.
You got to give props to Bubba Wallace and Charles tonight. They actually got damage, Adam, in that accident when his teammate Tyler Reddick was taken out, and they had to take a massive swing at this 23. But what a restart for Bubba Wallace. So, Junior, if you're behind the wheel of that 23, you've worked on the handling all day long. Now that you can see the lead, I'm sure you're a little more motivated to go claim it.
Absolutely. I mean, he's had some opportunities to be at the front of the field today. Just didn't really have the balance in the race car. Faded in the midpoint of the race, back to the backside of the top 10. Here they are back in the top 3 with good speed in this race car. 3rd fastest lap on the racetrack the last time by. A good battle right here with Hocevar and Byron. Hocevar quicker than Byron, trying to get by to move into 4th place. Trying to rebound, regroup, battle his way back up front. This 77 believes he can win this race. I believe he's got the best race car. Of everybody right now on the racetrack, I think the 77 Hocevar has the best chance to go battle Hamlin.
Crazy's just over 2 seconds behind Hamlin, despite the fact got into the wall, fell back, and has had to pass some guys as he gets it back to 4th now in the running order.
Denny ran a 70 that lap, Suarez an 81, Wallace a 76, Hocevar with a pass, ran a 96. Denny ran a 69 that lap, 2/10 better than Suarez, 2/10 better than Bubba Wallace. Hocevar with a 38 flat, not going to be good enough. I think Denny's got the speed in this car, just smashing the gas when he needs to.
Yeah, reading the 11's radio, driver silent, spotter and crew chief giving him very clear instruction of his gap over Suarez. And when they told him that he really ran a great lap behind him, all of a sudden the 11 seemed to turn the wick up and stretch it back out to over a 1 second lead, or right now, just that 1 second.
I know he wants that checkered flag, but I want to go back to the conversation throughout the week in the battle for the championship lead. I mean, as they run right now, Reddick in the garage, Hamlin out front, minus 51, just incredible how he's been able to slice into it with this rally here today to the point.
Cut it in half in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
That's one thing I love about this system. We talk about, you know, it still has a reset. The chase will still come. There'll be a reset. It'll be a staggered reset. Everybody won't be equal. But I believe that stage points have completely shifted how this looks from the years past when we ran it. And the bonus for winning, those 20 points for winning, is just such an enormous amount. I think we've kept the value of winning. It used to be winning you're in. I think the value is still there. You can move so far up the standings with a win.
I was talking with Ryan Sparks about that earlier today. You know, they win the Coke 600. I said, it would have been awesome for you guys to finish in the top 5. But you win, and a win means so much, especially in a crown jewel. But I said also, it's those points you get and the difference that that makes in the standings.
Eric Jones had a pretty rough restart. Lost a few positions, starting to climb his way back through the top 10. A little bit quicker than Logano right here with this 43 car. That would put him in 5th place if he could find his way around the 22.
And I think he will. It's just a question of how many laps it will take. The 43 looks really nice on these longer runs.
Look, Denny's out there running 70s. Everyone else is in the 90s and the flats. Be interesting to see if Jones can get some clean air here, get by this 22. I don't think it's going to happen right here, but if he can get some clean air, I'll be curious if Jones might be able to match the laps that Denny Hamlin's running. It looks like almost like the 22's letting the 43 go, to your point where you're not comfortable with the gas on the 22. He's needing to save a little bit.
He just knows it's inevitable. Try to pull up behind the 43, offset in the corner, but here down the straightaway, tuck right up behind him, trying to get a little bit of a free ride off his wake.
A Michigan-born driver has never won here. 2 of them inside the top 5, Jones and Hocevar. And the man leading, Denny Hamlin. The advantage now 1.7 seconds over Daniel Suarez. Here's Hamlin talking about racing at Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan's one of my favorite racetracks, and when we can win up here with our Toyotas, we certainly take a lot of pride in that. So hopefully we can go back to back.
Yeah, it's a big deal for the manufacturers at this racetrack. You know, it's a little bit different these days, but forever, Chevrolet, Oldsmobile, Buick, Ford, they all came here trying to be the one to hoist the manufacturer trophy, and Toyota takes as much pride in that as all the other manufacturers do.
Ford had a period where they owned this place. Last couple of years it belonged to Toyota. 2 years ago, Tyler Reddick. Last year, of course, Denny Hamlin. When Hamlin won here this year, it was the first victory at Michigan for Joe Gibbs Racing in 10 years. So starting to get their arms back around it. And Ryan Blaney, who's won here, trying to make something happen late.
Yeah, Blaney's been silent today, but late in this race, taking advantage of a lot of attrition, accidents, and so forth. Waves, hey, man, thanks. Byron didn't make that too difficult.
We're to that point in the race where you know if a car is much faster than you, 22 laps to go, you got to hold them off for the entire time. So you're better off to kind of save a little bit of your equipment.
Hamlin's still out there running 80s. The rest of the field's in the flats or worse. No one able to match the lap time of the number 11 Toyota. Jones out there running flats, Hocevar running flats, Bubba Wallace in the flats. Suarez fading a little bit, ran a 21 the last time by. That'll be a battle, I think, in a few more laps between Suarez and Bubba Wallace.
This has kind of become the signature of Denny Hamlin. He has found a way to be the best at the most important times of these races.
Yeah.
Once again, he has here. Now with still 21 to go, there's a lot of opportunity. A caution here with 20 laps on your tires. Man, then it really starts to become a little bit of a concern. And let's remember, early in the race, we saw left side tire issues. We haven't really had any green flag racing since then. So will that rear its head, right? Will that show back up as we have a long run here? If we have to run the next 20 under green, that's nearly 40 laps straight to the finish.
One to work in that SVG, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Michael McDowell, all seen and released at the Care Center after they were involved in that crash.
Bubba Wallace around the top of the racetrack trying to get some momentum here on the 7. He's got a good run down the front straightaway. He's going to have to try to guess correctly on where Suarez is going to go here. Suarez is going to try to go wherever Bubba takes his race car. Bubba to the bottom of the racetrack, can't commit enough speed to be able to get to the inside. Suarez, I wonder if Suarez has conceded the win and maybe he's in a little bit of a fuel save mode as well.
Yeah, I keep looking at their fuel consumption, and you know the leaders are out there just
digging.
Hamlin must not be worried because
zero concern.
Yeah, because I mean I'm gonna tell you he's at full wick.
Yep.
Down to 18 laps to go.
Bubba's trying to time this out to where he can try to make this pass. It's just so difficult to do. The 7 can get down in the corner pretty deep, so Bubba can't really get any kind of run to materialize down the straightaway. He gets a run on him to this point, but the 7 can carry the car into the corner as deep as he needs to fend off anything the 23 is doing. He's going to need a mistake by this 7 to be able to get alongside.
Coming to 17 to go. Let's do a little burn bar presented by Red Bull, Steve.
Well, we talk about the value of yellows. I mentioned we had to get over 5 miles per gallon. Look at the leader, 4.4 with zero concern. Driving away, 4.8 for Suarez. Bubba and the 7 locked together right here. Oh, I think he finally got him there.
Yep.
Finally got him off the bottom. But that tells me that all those yellows we saw was enough to get all of these leaders comfortably to where they needed to be on fuel consumption. Because Hamlin at this point can absolutely kind of turn the wick back down if he needed to and use up some of that now 4.5-second lead he has over this 23 car.
That was a great little understanding of how Bubba could get to a certain point on the left rear corner of the 7 to get him out of the gas. Like it's a strange thing with this car, the next gen car. If you get on the left rear, you make that lead car really, really tight. They start losing front grip. Suarez started to try to push the car across the racetrack and had to lift out of the throttle. Bubba knew if he could get to that point, really, really pack the air on the left rear here, he would get it tight, get that 7 car tight. Now Suarez trying to stay in the draft and trying to stay within striking distance.
I just think about every position here and how big that is. Because if we get a caution and if you get a restart, every position puts you in a better spot in the choose and maybe you can make something happen. When you're 5 seconds back, 15 to go, you think you're out of the game, but you get a caution and who knows what can happen here. That's why you got to go get all you can in these situations.
And I'm going to tell you, Denny Hamlin has run more 3780s. He's 0.6 of a second faster than the 2 that are racing. He has stretched this to a 6-second lead, putting an absolute exclamation point on the last 10 laps of this race.
You never see that, Steve. You never see a car go out there and run the exact same lap every single lap. We saw this in practice. The 45 of Reddick, as we see a battle for third there between teammates Suarez and Hocevar. Reddick would go out and run a ridiculously fast lap, but in 10 laps, Denny could match him. Denny was the only car that could match him, and Denny's told us, you and I and everyone else, he doesn't look at the board anymore, he doesn't look at speed, he just makes his car drive good. And if it's not the fastest car, he doesn't care. And that's why he doesn't always do the best on restarts. He said his restarts aren't that good this year because his car's not as comfortable as it needs to be. But on the long run, this is where this guy shines. He's out there running 3780s, 90s. The rest of the field has slowed down into the 20s, 3820s. They're half a second slower or worse. There's guys in the 40s, 50s. It's insane how much better his race car is at this point in the race. Nobody can see that better than Denny Hamlin or prepare for that better than Denny Hamlin. And he does that on Saturday practice. He does that on the sim on Thursday, on Wednesday. He's thinking about not how to make my car good on new tires or how to make my car good in stage 1. He's thinking about stage 3, this part of the race.
It's like a chef who's building a recipe by taste, not by measurement. That's what I would equate it to, right? Is he doesn't look at a teaspoon of this and a little bit of this. You go in the SMT and you're like, I don't know, his car's driving like everyone else's. But there's some magical little things that he's asking that car to do. What the field should be concerned about is he still has the long run speed, Denny. Now, I know he didn't have control of the race, right? Denny didn't get to start up front, but Dale, he's good on restarts now. So now he's passing on restarts and still being good on the long run. If they're able to put that recipe together, then I'm not sure what track we're going to go to quote Denny, that turns left. Now, if we turn both directions, I won't say that's a wholly different group, but if we're only turning left, where are we going to go that Denny shouldn't be the favorite?
Well, and real quick, it was almost 20 years ago to the day that he got his first career win at Pocono, which is where we go next week, and we know how good he is there.
You could cheer my rock out there in years, wasn't that his line? I mean, he's got more one-liners for winning. Hocevar has won the celebration with the burnout, but Denny has the one-liners captured.
Good battle right here with Jones trying to take the spot away from Suarez. Hocevar's up there trying to battle with Bubba Wallace as well for second. They're side by side down into turn 3. 2 battles here inside the top 5. Just a few laps to go. Hocevar's going to take second. Jones into 4th.
Hocevar's just doing such a good job after he made contact with the wall. 10 laps to go. Quick update here. Ryan Preece released from the care center. The same for Christopher Bell, but Christopher did request to not meet with the media once he was released from the care center.
That's great news to hear he's been released. Looking at the left side, a couple names I really want to point out. Just outside the top 10, we're going to see Cole Custer roll through in 12th. He's right here. We have Cindric in 11th, Custer in 12th. I bring that up because when I look at the year of the 41 car, his best finish, I think, is 15th at Watkins Glen. He had a 16th at Charlotte, a 21st at Nashville. Sometimes we focus so much on the win, it's hard to understand what a win is for that single car team. You know, running those Hendrick engines, getting some Hendrick support, and here they are running 12th. That's a great run for Custer at a track that I've said all weekend long test kind of every aspect. I know there's been some attrition, but they've avoided it, and they're taking advantage of it. So good run for the 41.
Hey, we referenced the fact we go to Pocono next week. He's won there twice in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, so he's going to a place where he feels quite comfortable.
Cindric in front. I mean, you have Logano 7th, Blaney 8th, and Cindric 11th. So all 3 Penske cars, I think, have shifted up the leaderboard a little bit.
Briscoe right there in the 19. He wasn't good all day either, and we see this time and time again out of this team. If they're struggling in stage 1, stage 2, and they're really nowhere near the top 10, they find a way to be able to get these, they grind it out. Briscoe is a grinder. He goes after it on restarts. The day is never over behind the wheel of this 19 car, and he finds a way to soldier on into a top 10 or a top 15 finish. Larson's grabbed a few spots by Blaney and Logano to move up to 6th late in this run. He's going after the 7 of Suarez for 5th. A little bit of a movement there. This car's a handful for Larson, but he's still digging.
Larson's done a really good job of keeping himself in the game. When you talk about the chase standings and that top 5 threshold you need to be in once we get to the chase if you're going to have a chance to win a title. Contact there. Larson slides up in front of Suarez, and they touch.
That's right.
That had to be exciting from behind the wheel of the 5 car.
And Hamlin, with the advantage he has, says, please, I do not need a caution right now.
Jones has gotten by Wallace for 3rd place. A little bit of a battle possibly shaping up between Jones and Hocevar. That 43 car is super good on the long run.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson and his whole organization should be really pleased because this has not been a fluky run for the 43, not a strategy type run, just run after run after run of being one of the better cars on the racetrack. I know the results are the only thing that matter, but sometimes they feel just more refreshing or more rewarding if you did it with just a really fast race car.
Hey, and Nemechek is 16th with a beat-up race car, so that's really impressive. We're coming to 5 laps to go. Hamlin out front, enormous advantage as Jones now goes for 2nd around Hocevar.
With ease in that 43.
Yeah, we need 90-lap fuel runs for this 43, and this guy might be the best car in the racetrack. It seems like the longer we run, although the 11, I guess he's in a different, this is like split class finish to this race.
I mean, they're entering turn 1, and he's halfway down the back straightaway. So just incredible the lead he's been able to build up here at the end of the race when it matters the most.
Chasing history today. Denny Hamlin going for his 3rd victory of the year, and it would be his 63rd all-time, matching Kyle Busch for 9th on the all-time wins list. I remember the emotion when he got 60 and what a threshold that was. And this year he continues to click them off.
Think about the conversation, Taylor, you and I had, what, maybe a year, 18 months ago about how many we think Denny could win. We were looking at this over 40 number and where these guys could go, and we were all severely underestimating the 11.
Hamlin going away on the 77 of Hocevar. He loses another spot to Wallace late in the race. Larson about a 2nd back from the 77.
Three laps to go for Hamlin. We give a nod to his teammate Chase Briscoe in the top 10 and looking for his first top 10 finish here.
William Byron all the way down to 18th. I don't know if he has a fuel issue or just I was looking at guys. You mentioned Nemechek's recovery. It kind of brought my eyes down the leaderboard. See it on the left-hand side, right? Nemechek 14th. Josh Berry 15th. He's been in an accident today.
Yeah. Austin Hill in that 33 in 20th. A.J. Allmendinger spun down the back straightaway. Flat right side tires. Drug that thing around.
2 laps to go for Hamlin. Now he wants to just get back to that white flag. No more drama.
Yeah, because with cars that are slowing down as much
as
the one.
The 2 car almost wrecked it.
That's what I was thinking. As these cars are getting on worn out tires, we're going to see a big mistake there.
Holy moly.
I thought that was going to be day over for Cindric.
That was I don't know how you did that. That was a good save.
Hamlin saw that at Kansas, right? I mean, coming to the white flag, caution comes out, changes everything.
Cindric just took a deep breath. Said, you know, I think 11th. I might just finish 11th.
Here's Hamlin.
I wouldn't blame him.
White flag is out. 1 lap to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank. And he turns 40. And all he's done is win since then. Think about everything he's done in the last 5 years. 2 weeks in a row where he starts on the pole but has to come from behind. It's like deja vu from Nashville. He just gets better and better. Denny Hamlin going to get his 4th victory here at Michigan International Speedway.
Yeah,
Exclamation point to finish it in the Irish Hills for driver 11. Career win number 63.
Congrats on 63, bud.
9th all time. Matching Kyle Busch.
Great job, guys. Wow. Great car. Unbelievable. We love you, KB. Come down here.
Back-to-back at Michigan. Back-to-back in 2026. And another run on NASCAR's ladder. And this one is special. Great moment for Denny Hamlin. Great moment for this 11 team. And a great moment for everyone at Joe Gibbs Racing.
And Denny Hamlin with the Kyle Busch flag here, celebrating that 63rd win of his career. Denny, from the pole to the back to victory lane 2 weeks in a row. How does this team continue to do this?
This Joe Gibbs team just keeps giving me amazing race cars. This National Debt Toyota was just amazing, you know, and you know, at the last run there, it just hammered down. You know, had a few good restarts, and then once we got to the lead, I was gonna leg it out all I had.
Denny, we know the significance of the 63 wins for you, but can you even explain what this means with the last couple weeks?
No, I mean, yeah, the off season, you know, it was rough for me. It was rough for the NASCAR family. We lost a lot of people. This week we lost Gentleman Ned, you know, the original badass of the 11. We're still thinking of Kyle, Samantha, Brexton, Lennox. You know, it's just an unbelievable feeling to be able to strap in every week, and I don't take it for granted, you know, this opportunity that I'm in. I just love we're making the best of it.
Denny Hamlin, like he's on side quest right now, going to the back, to the front, week after week.
What a day for Denny Hamlin. Does it again from the back.
Pretty impressive, because I wasn't sure that he had enough race car. You know, we really didn't see that till the very final run, but when this guy has turned into the Silver Fox himself, because when it was time to go, he went. He was faster than anybody by 2-3 tenths, half a second a lap. Just a flawless final run to the finish. He's incredible.